because he can strike at any time, as you know well, Brent.
Love the gloves, partner. But it was a year ago, the opening play of the game for the Noles, 74 yards, Winky to Warrick, and then they were shut down.
I'm going to raise you.
Fold. Too rich for me.
Not fold. Call.
A couple of things to remember. One, a full house always beats 3 of a kind. And 2, the new Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any pickup. Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Shut up.
That's what I call high-quality H2O.
Now, the Water Boy is yours to own for the first time.
You can do it!
Plus, you can enter to win a trip to the Nokia Sugar Bowl in New Orleans to see the BCS National Championship game as an honorary Water Boy.
Oh! I think that's sexy.
Grab your copy of The Water Boy. Take it home on video and DVD and enter today.
Hey, boys, I'm lost. I'm looking for Franklin Street exit. I'm going around for an hour. Come on.
Want more power? Try Valvoline SimPower Complete Fuel System Treatment. Cleans your entire fuel system with advanced synthetic technology.
Emerald Club members get this free officially licensed NFL sports bag with your first rental from National in September.
Nice game, Bear.
If you're not a member, join for half price.
Good game, Bear.
And still get this NFL sports bag free. It's perfect for all the important things a player needs to carry.
Nice bear, Mr. Bear.
Emerald Club members get this free NFL sports bag in September and rent twice for 2 days or longer and get a certificate for another day free. The more you rent, the more you earn. National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the NFL. Teddy bear not included.
Jamie Barnett of the Wolfpack forced to practice indoors one day this week because of the hurricane problem, and Coach O'Kane is down below with Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Brent, as you know, Hurricane Floyd ripped through the Carolinas. Coach, what type of an effect did the weather have on your preparations?
Quite a bit. It affected us. Wind Tuesday, all-day rain. Wednesday, we had to go inside Thursday. We got very little done, but I believe we'll be ready. You don't ever know. We can't use that as a crutch.
What do you have to accomplish early?
Well, we've got to come out and keep our poise early. We can't give them anything early. We've got to do a good job offensively, move the ball a little bit, punt it away, play good, sound defense.
Brent, there's some confidence on this side.
And with good reason. That upset a year ago, and the season prior to that, they also played the Noles pretty well down here in Tallahassee. State will handle the ball first. Janikowski, great hang time, 3 yards deep. They'll take a knee and bring it out on the 20-yard line, and we will see the senior Jamie Barnett go to work early. We had a chance to ask him, what do you have to do in the early stages of this game against the Noles?
Move the ball and stay confident within ourselves and know that things ain't not going to work all the time, but to keep fighting.
Keep fighting. That's what to keep in mind. Obviously, the Wolfpack also must control the clock. They hope to be as efficient as Georgia Tech was a week ago. The Ramblin' Wreck Ramblers for better than 500 yards against this tremendous Noles defense. Eric Leak lined up. They open up in the shotgun. Taking time down on the clock. Here comes Leak on a little bit of a cutback and a slick run to the 24-yard line. Let's check in on the Chili's starting lineup now for the Wolfpack. Jarvis Borum. There, fellas, is one of the biggest tackles, 6'8", 329 pounds, nicknamed Earth. Chris Coleman. Torrey Holt has moved on to the St. Louis Rams, so Coleman the go-to wide out for State today. Jamie Barnett will be under the gun here today with Leak starting and Derek Roberts out of Putnam, Connecticut, his fullback. The I formation on second down. O'Kane changes his formation, offsets it, tries to keep him off balance. Run back with Leak. Now defensively, and this is a team we'll be talking about all day for the Seminoles. Corey Simon, nose man, matched against an inexperienced center, so you'll see him play on the nose almost all day. Tommy Pulley, This is the group that has to improve as the season progresses. The linebackers here at Florida State, inexperienced. Derek Gibson, look at his speed and the muscle he brings to the affair. Third down now with Rashawn Spikes checking in. Barnett slips, still gets it pitched out, and there is a flag, however.
And Brent, I think they're going to say that Barnett's knee was down before he could get that pitch away. So he slipped on the field. We had a little bit of rain before the ball game. Not enough to cause that slip, though.
Seemed to slip pulling away from center, didn't he? Did he trip on somebody, Dan?
Well, you know what happens sometimes is you get stepped on. There it is, right there. The big left or right foot of John Fletcher.
Looked like it was a pretty good call, too, when we looked at that replay. So here's Warwick, the first time he touches the ball today from the 36-yard line. Cole to the middle, cut back left, and Mr. Excitement on his way. And a penalty flag comes flying.
And they're going to get an illegal block in the back against Florida State, but that return there gives you an indication of what we should see a lot of today. Just a real special athlete with tremendous talent, especially when he gets that ball under his arm and he's running in the open field.
Now Chris Weinke comes out after that horrible game a year ago, and we asked Chris what he has to do early here today against North Carolina State.
We need to stay focused. I think, you know, we put a good game plan together for this week. You know, you look at a lot of film from last year. I had too many mental mistakes. I just wasn't on. My timing was off. You know, the guys were open. I need to get the football to them.
But his field position not as good as it might have been. Because of the penalty, the ball brought all the way back to the 33-yard line. Weinke with Dan Kendra in at fullback. Travis Minor set behind Kendra. Minor gets the call. Stopped at the 34-yard line. What about that block, Dan?
It's a good call. Here it is right here. And there's it's definitely a clip. He hit him on the back of the shoulder pads. This is what I love to see is this man, number 9, with all that green grass to run around in.
Check with me at the line this time, and 4 wideouts for the Noles. This will test that secondary of North Carolina State. Inside handoff, and State was not fooled. Clayton White, the junior linebacker who leads this team in tackles, made a splendid one there. And you can see the offensive line. Jason Whitaker, one of the guards, coming up without the huddle, and it's a check with me. Lavernius Cole, speed. He's lined up with Dugans and Warwick, and of course Dan Kendra, as we mentioned, is at fullback. So it's not really a hurry up as much as it is Weinke studying the defense because of all his experience, and then he calls the play. To the middle, high and incomplete. He overthrew his receiver that time, and Dugans was the intended target. Now, North Carolina State making a living off blocking punts, and here's how they do it.
The key to our punt block team is this. First of all is alignment. We like to crowd the football. Secondly, we spend time studying the center and the personal protector to try to get a quick jump. And with our guys use great technique coming off the football, low, reducing the angles, and aiming for the block point.
But Cottrell got this one off, and Coleman fields it at the 25 behind a teammate. Good return by Coleman. Midfield. And into Nole territory. So like I told you at the top of the broadcast, North Carolina State is not intimidated. They know they've got their hands full here, Dan, but it means a lot to a team when they know they can play like this.
And not only can they block punts, they do a great job of setting up the picket line and getting a great return to start their second possession.
We'll take a timeout. We're scoreless in Tallahassee.
Long ago, an inventor came up with the assembly line, allowing a few people to make a lot of something. It was the model for efficiency. At Chili's, we pride ourselves for our inefficiency, because we make each of the big mouth burgers by hand, grilled one at a time by a person. And when you taste for yourself how good they are, you'll appreciate all the time we've wasted. Chili's fresh grilled Big Mouth Burgers. Monuments of inefficiency.
Meet Boone Tidwell, bounty hunter. Nose climb doesn't pay, no Chevy S10 does. Standard four-wheel anti-lock brakes on every model, plus more interior room and a bigger bed than Ford Ranger. It's what IntelliChoice calls a best overall value. It's what Boone calls his best catch yet. Chevy S10, like our rock.
Where will you be when your children find their life's passion? Your dreams change. So have we. Now Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level. The world will change, but at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we will always measure success, one investor at a time.
America's got the most stuff, but do we have the right stuff? Find out with John Stossel as he travels around the world to discover, is America #1? Sunday.
See what they allowed last Saturday night against Georgia Tech. Derek Roberts is the lone running back in behind Barnett. They send a tailback out as a wide receiver. Barnett on a roll, incomplete. Was well covered that time by Derek Gibson, who was not fooled.
Well, Brent, on the matchup today, I kind of like Florida State on offense. Too many weapons, including number 9, Peter Warrick. On defense, they gave up those yards last week against Georgia Tech, but defense coordinator Mickey Andrews says they'll be better today. Special teams, you cannot overlook the ability to block punts and return punts by NC State. And I know you love those intangibles, Brent.
Yeah, that's the Knowles, obviously, because of last year. And Barnett brings them up to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10. Barnett off a play fake, looks to go downfield, incomplete, and he had a defensive back slipping. Mario Edwards was slipping, but he could not hit Chris Coleman. That might have been a touchdown because Mario slipped just before the ball reached Coleman.
Here they are working one-on-one. Nice route here as he really sells the post route right there. And now there goes Edwards down, ball just overthrown. But if Coleman could have got 2 hands on that ball instead of just 1, he would have made the reception and maybe got in the end zone, Brent.
Here's 3rd down and 10. Ryan Hamrick, the wide receiver to the left. The slot man is to the wide side of the field on 3rd and 10. Barnett middle, intercepted. Picked off by Sean Key, the safety. Out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Barnett misfires. Ball is high.
2 balls in a row now that Jamie Barnett's thrown a little bit too high. And when you throw high against a zone defense, watch the safeties in the middle of the field. They're just watching the quarterback's eyes. Good protection for Barnett. But as he throws here, it goes over his receiver's head and right to the safety who's just playing half of the center field.
Ricky's 2nd possession. Again coming out without the huddle. Using 4 wide receivers. Good protection. 1st down. Jermaine Springer, the receiver. And this is the defense that will have to watch for the no-huddle now. Jeff Fisher needing a push in the middle of that line. Antonio Burnett, tough assignment for a true freshman. Lloyd Harrison, all ACC corner. Long Island area. Now with the 1st down, the Noles are inside the 40-yard line against State. 3 defensive linemen. Winky stands tall, middle, Warrick incomplete. Underthrown just a bit. And Tony Scott, number 27, able to get over and get a hand on it.
That ball hung in the air too long for Peter Warrick. It allows Scott to come off his receiver at the top of the screen and make a play on the ball. Tony Scott showing you why he's playing defensive back instead of receiver. That ball hit him in both hands and his helmet. He should have picked that one off.
And did you see the back of that replay, ladies and gentlemen? Brian Williams, the free safety, he sent Mr. Ward down to the grass. What a safety should do in that situation after the ball's been tapped. And Weinke flares Dugans, shakes one tackler, and makes a nice gain out of nothing to the 34-yard line. Pick up a 4-yard.
As we look at what the Florida State offense wants to do, execute these barnyard plays. Well, those are just trick plays, and no better player to run them than Peter Warrick. On defense for NC State, what they've got to do today is put pressure on Weinke, mix up these coverages, and try to force him into another 9 for 32 day with 6 interceptions.
3rd and 6. Middle's open. Inside the 20-yard line, Weinke drills a strike to Lavernius Coles.
And what we're seeing out of NC State, Brand, is they're changing up how many people they bring at the quarterback. This time it's just a 3-man rush. And look at this good throwing motion by Weinke as he throws a strike to Coles right down the middle.
Keeping the defense off balance by operating without a huddle. With 9.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. The Noles with a first down at the 18-yard line. The offensive line of Florida State's done a good job so far. Maybe they'll blitz this time. It looked like they were going to. Weinke was going to change it up, and he does now. Now he has to call a timeout. What happened was that the linebacker came off the corner that time and showed blitz. Weinke was going to change the play. State back out. The clock was running out, so we've got a timeout.
Don't get me started on stockbrokers. I had one for the better part of 10 years. Let me tell you something. The only one who was broker was me. With Ameritrade, it's so simple. I sit down at my computer, a couple of clicks, and I can see for myself. $8 a trade. My stockbroker says you're going to hate online trading. You can add that to the long list of things he was wrong about.
Call toll-free 888-763-0088 or visit Ameritrade.com. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
3 years ago, my IT guys told me there'd be 2 kinds of businesses. Those with a vision to master the internet and those without. And we didn't want to be the second kind. Then Dell came to see us. They showed us how to use the internet for direct relationships with our customers, suppliers, everyone who's a part of our business. With Dell's support, there's no limit to where I can take this company. We always knew we needed the internet. We just didn't know how badly.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
Chevy Blazer. A little security in an insecure world. Blazer, like a rock.
Our first turnover of the game ignited this rally by Florida State. We're scoreless here in Tallahassee. Overcast Saturday, possibility of rain later in the afternoon. 4 wideouts now for Bowden's Knowles. Weinke hits Warrick, and Warrick goes nowhere as Tony Scott nails him, which is what you have to do with Peter Warrick, Dan. As soon as he touches the ball, you've got to get a pad on him.
Yeah, they say they got to rally to the ball, and when number 9 has the ball in his hands, he can make not only the first guy miss, but the second and third as well. So that was an outstanding tackle by Tony Scott in the open field.
2nd and 12. 3 receivers over to the right or the wide side right now. Warrick, the corner, and he belts Harrison. Went right out after him and gained a couple more yards as a result of it.
He's a lot stronger than he looks. He's 195 pounds, about 5'10". And what I like about this play is he runs away from the strong safety, Adrian Wilson, number 1, down the sidelines, and then delivers a message to number 2.
3rd and 6. Winky fires high and incomplete. And just like a year ago, Winky is throwing high here against the Wolfpack. Sebastian Janikowski trots onto the field now. The junior who left Poland when he was a teenager. But take a look at that last line. 69 goals as a senior in high school in Daytona Beach. How in the world does anybody score 69 goals in a season?
He told me he had really good teammates that fed him the ball a lot, obviously.
Well, here is a 30-yard attempt for him. The moonshot's good, and Janikowski puts the Seminoles on the board. But it was a turnover. Jamie Barnett throwing high. Sean Key, the free safety, with the pick. And the senior takes it back across midfield. Timeout.
Than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram. Maybe that's why Motor Trend thought of us. The new Chevy Silverado. It's the truck. The Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
I'm Buzz, and
I'm Shirley Rosalini.
And that's Shirley.
We're people. We switched the autos to State Farm because I was tired of punching numbers. We dialed a 1-800 number, hit an asterisk, hit a pound sign, and never did know who we were talking to.
They don't have to hit a pound sign to talk to me.
When I need to call my agent at State Farm, he knows who I am and I know who he is.
I can talk to Gary like a friend.
I even insure their golf cart.
Like a good
neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Burger King, we're always trying to make Have It Your Way better. Like this idea for a Win Your Way college football game.
Let's cheer!
Run back a kickoff and win great prizes. Then we thought, why not just scratch and win? This week, Colorado and Washington face off, and you could win $1 million, a Toyota RAV4, or the best tasting prize of all, a delicious Whopper. Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
I might play this year.
Yeah, right. Might be in the band this year.
Florida State, North Carolina, next Saturday.
8:27 remaining in the first quarter. North Carolina State about to go back on the attack, and so far they have not completed a pass. Jamie Barnett, who was accurate last year in that tremendous upset up in Raleigh, going to have to get his passing game back together. Corin Robinson is back with Rashawn Spikes. Janikowski drills it end zone bound. Bring it out on the 20-yard line. And we had a chance to ask Coach Mike O'Kane, what do you need to do to win today?
You cannot make a mistake on the special teams. You have to take care of the football. You cannot turn the ball over. They will wear you out. You have to protect your quarterback. If we can keep Jamie protected where he's able to throw the football, we have a chance, and you have to put pressure on their quarterback.
Well, Dan, the coach mentioned it. You can't have turnovers like they did just a short time ago.
Well, they have to protect the quarterback, too. That time, Corey Simon was coming right at Barnett. He couldn't follow through on his ball, and that's why he threw the interception.
Simon lined up on the nose. Spikes carries to the 24-yard line. And let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Brent, thanks a lot. It's the Win Your Way Burger King update. We start out west, San Diego State and USC. Carson Palmer off to a terrific start. 13 yards here to Antoine Harris, who pulls his way into the end zone. Palmer 6 for 6. 79 yards and a touchdown. Pretty good start. 7-zip. Brent.
Yeah, Carson Palmer, one of the better young quarterbacks out west this year. Here we have a senior, Jamie Barnett, at the controls of North Carolina State. The play action protection using the fullback Roberts, and Roberts loses, but he was out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and we check in again on the Dell Game Solutions, Dan.
Well, we heard the coach talk about protecting the quarterback. They want to use a lot of crossing routes. They want to get rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds to keep Barnett standing. As far as Florida State, they know that they've got to watch the strong arm. Barnett throws the deep pass well. And you got to defend those crossing routes. You got to look out for those picks and rubs that Georgia Tech used so well last week in almost upsetting the Noles.
Words on the sideline is that Eric Leak of North Carolina State suffered toe injury in the early going here. They're hopeful that they can get him back. And they get wide with Spikes out of bounds at the 49-yard line. And let's go down below now to Jack Carew. Jack.
Brent, let's update you on Leak. His problem is the turf toe, as we said. They tried to put padding there. They're going to ice it down because the padding didn't work. The story I want to tell you, which is a great one, is yesterday, Mike O'Kane preached to his players, look, you're going into a hostile environment. So he brought them out here onto the Doak Campbell Field, said take one lap around, imagine what it'll be like with 80,000. Game day, I don't want you looking up in the crowd.
One big difference, they turned the sprinklers off today. They had to go over to the practice field because they were watering the regular field yesterday. Now Jamie dances away beautifully for a first down. Ooh, smacked at the 35. You hate to see somebody stand there when you know the collision is coming with some of those defensive fellas.
Yeah, and the sideline was so close, Jamie could have stepped out of bounds and avoided that potential headache.
Tallahassee, Florida, the #1 team in the nation, Florida State, leading by a field goal over the team that shocked them last year. And I guess it was one of the biggest upsets of this decade. Now, North Carolina State trailing it by that field goal with Jamie Barnett, whom the coach says is the toughest player he's ever been around. Just took a hit and kept on ticking and hands it back into Spikes' hand. And the one thing that is very impressive right now is how well North Carolina State is moving the ball on the ground. This is a very, very good drive, and they are simply running the ball at them.
This offensive line is huge, Brent. You talked about Borum being nicknamed the Earth. Well, maybe this is a little wind and fire for North Carolina State as Spikes goes right up the middle, but the size is very, very impressive all across the board, and that is Earth. Jarvis Borum, 6'8", 330.
Earth can move a little bit, folks, when he gets in motion. This time, the Noles were ready at the point of attack. Bradley Jennings, young man out of Miami, jumps into that hole.
Bradley Jennings and Bobby Rose.
Yeah, the Wolfpack, they're hurting as far as depth's concerned in the backfield with Leaks out with that turf toe. Remember, Ray Robinson has this bad right ankle. And he did not practice much at all this week. We're hoping to get him out here today, but it looks like the plan is to go with Spikes right now.
Here's third down and a yard. Spikes squeezed through for the first down. An ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by the new Chevy Silverado. It's not just any truck, it's the truck. Budweiser, delivered fresh daily from our local brewery near you. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And the Water Boy, Touchstone home video scores with outrageous bonus footage. KJ Stone checks in at running back on a first down from the Noles 25. Mickey Andrews has to be livid with the amount of ground that his Noles defenders are yielding here.
Great play fake. Barnett's got a man wide open. Got him. Another first down. Airborne for 12 yards with Andy Vanderveer, the tight end, making the catch. One of those crossing routes that we talked about, whenever you're playing against a man-to-man defense with the play-action fake, that brings the linebackers up. You see Jennings is out of the play. There's the crossing route to the tight end. And another big play for the Wolfpack.
They have moved to the Seminoles' 13-yard line. Spikes back in at tailback. Here's Spikes, slashes back close to the 10-yard line. And a program reminder that ABC Premier Tuesday features the arrival of Heather Locklear on Spin City. where Mike finally meets his match. It's the season premiere of Spin City, 8, 7 Central. See you Tuesday on ABC.
Very impressive drive for North Carolina State, especially when you consider that they turned the ball over the last time they had the ball, and they had good field position when they turned it over.
Second down. The option look. Got the corner and pushed out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Mario Edwards over on spikes that time. This is the play that was so successful last Saturday night for Georgia Tech.
And David Warren, number 99, is going to go right down and kiss the quarterback. But good pitch. Good setting up of his blocks on the outside that time by Spikes. Takes it down close to that 5-yard line, Brent. This is a very impressive drive. They are taking their time. They look composed out there. It's great having the senior leadership at quarterback that Jamie Barnett gives you.
Third down and 3. Play fake. Barnett lofts for the corner. Deflected. Incomplete. Cleavon Thomas back on coverage for the Noles.
Outstanding coverage as the Noles drop off into a zone. Thomas sees it, and he can almost get to it with one hand, but look at the effort to go after the deflection. He knows the ball is still alive, and he gives it his all to try to come away with it.
So Kent Passingham trots onto the field. He makes this 22-yarder. Will be tied. Right hash. And he hit it from the angle. So we're deadlocked at 3, but that was an excellent drive for Coach O'Kane. Now, we are tied simply because when Florida State threatened, like North Carolina State, the Seminoles could not punch it into the end zone. And we have been saying here several times that Winky is throwing the ball high. We're going to check in on the Fouts file because Dan can explain the quarterback's problems right now.
Sometimes when Chris Wenke's under pressure, he'll step up into the pocket, open his shoulders, and throw off balance, and the ball will sail on him. What he's been working on is keeping his shoulder down the field, pointing right at his target, and delivering an accurate pass.
So, Dan, he has to really now go back to work on that.
Well, we've seen him throw accurately today, and we've also seen him throw a couple ones that just sailed on him a little bit. So he's a work in progress. He may be 27 years old, but doesn't have a lot of experience as a quarterback. He has the respect of his teammates. He didn't alibi it all last year. He knew he was going through an awful afternoon, and as a quarterback, we all go through it. The one thing I told him is that when you get to 5 interceptions, go ahead and pull a hamstring. Take yourself out of the game. No one's going to matter. In fact, they're probably going to be glad you take yourself out of the game. I always would quit at 5. I did that a couple of times.
Bobby Moore and Lavernius Coles, along with Jermaine Springer. Short kickoff. Springer comes up to the 20-yard line and smacked at the 35-yard line. It'll be a first down for Chris Winky, young man out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Steve Walsh, one-time quarterback down the road at Miami, also went to the same high school, and you can see the time he spent with the Blue Jays. 6 years. Coming back from a serious neck injury, which kept him out of their championship game over in the Fiesta Bowl against Tennessee. And now Winky dreams of taking the Noles to the game, which will be played this year on January 4th in New Orleans at the Nokia Sugar Bowl. We're tied at a field goal apiece.
Randy's wearing a special pad to protect that broken neck.
The traditional tee, and now they will run Travis Minor. There's our first penalty flag of the afternoon, and Minor breaks free. 20-yard line, pushed out of bounds, but there was a penalty flag thrown early on the play, and Winky is not moving.
Illegal motion against Florida State, so this wonderful play by Travis Minor is going to come all the way back.
We have 2 fouls on the offense, blocking the back on the offense, illegal motion on the offense. We'll take the illegal motion, 1st and 15.
Well, Bobby Bowden has to be livid about some of the mistakes his team is making. Let's go down now to Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, one of the things that Bobby Bowden preaches is mistakes and penalties are mistakes of players and coaches. So what do players do when they commit a penalty in a game? On Monday, they line up for what's called a gasser. What that is you run from the 10-yard line, back to the goal, back up to the 20, back to the goal, back up to the 30, back to the goal, and back up to the 40, off back to the goal, back up to the 50. Then you're like that. Hopefully, you don't ever commit another penalty.
I'm tired listening to Jack. Here's Winky, play fake. Dugans to the 41-yard line. Gain of about 5 or 6 with Tony Scott, the defensive back.
Winky did a good job of getting his feet straightened out that time. Big guy like he is at 6'5" and 260 pounds or so. Has always battled that. A lot of big quarterbacks have that problem, but he did a nice job. Got in good throwing motion to a strike.
Cheney in at tailback. The toss to Cheney. And he battles his way. It'll be close to a first down. Going to depend on the spot with free safety Brian Williams from High Point, North Carolina, making the tackle for North Carolina State. The Seminoles don't think they got it, apparently, because they've already sent 2 tight ends into the game. When they knew upstairs, Mark Rick very close to us, off to our left. And Mark is right there, the offensive coordinator. So they had a pretty good view of where the spot would be. And they had called this short yardage play right away. Now, one of the things they have done in short yardage situations is use Dan Kendra, the fullback. As you know, he's a one-time quarterback, or many of you know he's a one-time quarterback here at Florida State. Suffered a major knee injury, and they moved him to fullback. And their starting fullback went down, and so Kendra has been used in that spot. There's another penalty flag thrown as Kendra bucks ahead for the first down, but we will check the flag.
Stop is made by number 1, Adrian Wilson.
One of the Wolfpack, Brent, lined up in the neutral zone.
Primetime football. Sunday night, it's the Jets against Buffalo. Rick Meyer steps in as quarterback for the Jets. Then on Monday night, Atlanta against Dallas. Chris Chandler still questionable because of an injury. And the Atlanta Falcons will be down Big D way. The Cowboys coming off a very impressive win in Washington. Great comeback in overtime. Tied here at 3. North Carolina State with the ball with a first down against North Carolina State. Pump fake. Winky going to go far down the sideline. Warren cuts into the middle and intercepted. Picked off, and another penalty flag. That was Adrian Wilson, the safety, making the interception. And it will count because it's holding against the Seminoles. So they will take the football back at the 11-yard line.
And it was bad holding at that. Number 91 is Clint Johnson. This is the interception. Ball is up in the air, but Winky was under a lot of pressure here as Johnson was right in his face. Nice job of playing center field by Adrian Wilson. And Chris Winky has now thrown 7 interceptions against North Carolina State.
So North Carolina State with a fresh possession coming out from their 12-yard line. They have rushed today 11 times for 48 yards, and we have 2 minutes left in the opening quarter. Garnett is 2 of 6 passing for 29 yards. They have more yardage here in the opening quarter than the Noles, 77 to 52. Barnett opens up in the shotgun. Middle, Hamrick couldn't get it. Incomplete. Ryan Hamrick, the intended receiver.
Take a look at the pressure by Clint Johnson, number 91, working against Tarlos Thomas. Actually, it's Kendra. He beats two running backs, Kendra and Minor, and gets into the face of Wenke. That's why that pass was intercepted. Great hustle by Clint Johnson, beating the fullback and the tailback. That's unbelievable, beating two guys.
Second down. Nothing doing that time. The Garnet and goal jumped the tailback that time at the 10-yard line. So K.J. Stone, the ball carrier. David Warren leading the defensive assault. A little bit of concern there for that outstanding defensive coordinator. He saw the option rip up his troops last Saturday night. Looked pretty good on this series for 2 downs. High snap, inside handoff, got the corner again. Down at the 11-yard, far short of the first down, Derek Gibson, the rover, number 6.
And all that speed in the secondary, Gibson runs the 40 and 4.3. And they all can run, and that shows you right there that to get to the outside, you're going to have to outrun a lot of people, and they couldn't do it that time.
Well, this time Reggie Durden set to return Scott Irwood's punt. Irwood, an improving punter. Fair catch, the signal at the 49-yard line. Let's go back to last year. We talked about Wenke's problems. The first interception was by Harrison, the all-ACC corner. And it was beautiful. Then it was Rodney Redd. Jason Perry. Harrison again. Then Anthony Kaysen. 6 interceptions. But Wenke did not get down. He went the rest of the season before the injury without a single interception. Finally threw one in their opener this year. Now, first down for Chris, and Florida State attack. Minor back, picks up a yard. The defensive front of North Carolina State and the linebackers, Dan, are playing very well.
Well, they're lining up with 3 down men, and then they're trying to confuse the blocking scheme with their linebackers. They're blitzing at times, they're dropping off at other times, but right now they're in a good rhythm, really keeping Florida State off balance.
Darius Bryant is the man in the middle of that 3-man defensive line right now. Wenke, an open man, hits his tight end this time. He put it right into Ryan Sprague's hands for the first down. And the first quarter comes to an end. Florida State 3, North Carolina State 3. Timeout.
Meet Booten Tidwell. Bounty hunter. Knows crime doesn't pay. Knows Chevy S10 does. Standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes on every model. Plus more interior room and a bigger bed than Ford Ranger. It's what IntelliChoice calls a best overall value. It's what Booten calls his best catch yet. Chevy S10. Like our rock.
You up, big man! I'm gonna eat you up!
Meet Cyberbus. And his ball-hawking, tightrope-walking, jaw-dropping Jumbotron hog. Madden NFL 2000. EA Sports. It's in the game.
National Car Rental presents Drive for the National Championship. In 1991, the Washington Huskies were 5-0, rolling into Berkeley to face unbeaten California. Late in the game, Husky running back Bino Bryant scampered 65 yards for a touchdown. A last-second pass was broken up, and the Huskies secured a 24-17 win. They would go on to a perfect 12-0 season and the national championship. This year's national champion will be crowned in the title game of the Bowl Championship Series.
Emerald Club members get this free officially licensed NFL sports bag with your first rental from National in September.
Nice game, Bear.
If you're not a member, join for half price.
Good game, Bear.
And still get this NFL sports bag free. It's perfect for all the important things a player needs to carry.
Nice bear, Mr. Bear.
Emerald Club members get this free NFL sports bag in September and rent twice for 2 days or longer and get a certificate for another day free. The more you rent, the more you earn. National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the NFL. Teddy bear not included.
Mike O'Kane and North Carolina State trying to make it 2 shocking upsets in a row. A lot of people still think it was a fluke. I wonder what they're thinking now after that first quarter. O'Kane was a one-time quarterback back at Clemson in the 70s. Learned his football there. Now he's got his troops on defense here against Winky and Florida State. Big hole, and Minor rips through. But Coach O'Kane, who's one of the best young ones in the country, agreed to come over and talk to our Jackaroot just minutes ago. Here's how it went. A little bit of a problem with just the Baki tape machine, and those things happen from time to time, and we'll get it to you because it's interesting to hear from the coach during the heat of the battle. And he's a very calm fellow over there on that sideline who's done a terrific job with this program. Kendra battles to the 20-yard line.
Number 10, Dan Kendra on the carry.
So we'll hold on here just one more play with the Noles threatening at the 20-yard line, coming up without the huddle. For the first down. Now, here's what O'Kane said to Jack.
Well, Coach, you played them tight for the first quarter.
Well, yeah, we got to execute a little bit better. We've had a couple open receivers. We've been a little bit overthrown a little bit, dropped one ball. And we just got to hang in here and keep doing what we're doing. I've been very pleased with the way we played defensively so far, and we just got to stay after it.
Should we look for any changes?
Not really. We just got hopefully better execution is the only change. Our passing game has got to be a little smoother. Thank you.
Coach has to be concerned right now, Dan, on this drive, however, against his defense. The Noles look very efficient right now.
Yeah, and I really like the way Winky's throwing the ball. He's really stepping into it and throwing the ball hard and really in control of his motion. But I like O'Kane on the sideline. He's cool, isn't he?
He really is. And Cool Hand Luke over there. First down and goal for the Noles. And they run straight ahead with Jeff Chaney lining up at fullback. So they move Chaney to the fullback spot and slip him through inside the 5-yard line. And it will be second down and goal. And now Kendra returns as the lead blocker. Of course, they used Kendra as a receiver, didn't they, Dan, against Georgia Tech and threw him a touchdown pass?
Yeah, it was a little play-action pass right over the middle. And, you know, they have so many running backs and so many receivers. Chaney has a unique ability to play both fullback and tailback. Really quite a change-up from when Kendra's in the ball game.
Kendra's a setback. Here he comes, moving the pile. Closer to the goal line, but about a yard or so short.
Really loaded up that right side with a tight end in the backfield. Ryan Sprague led Kendra off that right side behind Tarlos Thomas. So many weapons for Bobby Bowden.
Travis Minor will trot into your picture right there. He's number 23. He was out of that last play. They replaced a wide receiver with him. Peter Warwick is off to the left. This is third and goal. And this is Minor, and he is short of the goal line and was reaching that football dangerously out that time.
Great goal line stop there by North Carolina State. And you're right, Brent, that ball was hanging out there for what appeared to be an eternity. This is what the officials are looking at. They're right on the goal line. And as Minor gets down to about the 1-yard line, gets contact here, and here comes the stretch. He's lucky somebody didn't swat that out of his hands.
They're going to go on 4th and goal. The crowd loves it. Need that yard. Kendra got it. Touchdown, Florida State. Dan Kendra, the converted quarterback, blasts across from the 1. And Florida State moves into its second lead of the game for Coach Bowden. To scramble now. No, and it's a live ball defensively. Picked off by Clayton White, the linebacker. Can he get a block? No, Janikowski. Marcus Outson was the holder who threw the pass after the bad snap. It was intercepted by White, and then Janikowski came up big.
Kendra goes off the right side. He follows Jason Whitaker as captain into the end zone. Down the extra point. This is heads up by Outson. He knows he's got trouble here. He just underthrows his receiver. But what about the effort by Sebastian Janikowski at 6'2", 260 pounds? He's going to save his team 2 points.
Man, he looked like a linebacker, didn't he? Not a soccer player. Timeout.
In the last 13 years, Nicorette helped over 1 million people help themselves stop smoking, and that was the reason that convinced me to use Nicorette. All these people knew it was safe and effective. Nicorette delivers a low level of nicotine fast to help control cravings without the tars and toxins found in cigarettes. And Nicorette was proven safe and effective in more clinical trials than any other product. Just the idea that Nicorette had helped all those people made me feel that Nicorette was the right choice for me in the end. Which it was.
Nicorette helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's Thrifty. Just the things you'd expect from a worldwide car rental company. Things like great cars, great service, airline miles, Blue Chip Express program, the works, and at a low rate. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
Atlanta, Dallas, Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Well, here Florida State leads North Carolina State 9-3. Down in Miami, Penn State leads Miami 10-0 right now. They're taking the went across the goal line. It'll come out on the 20. Let's go back on Dan Kendra, the young man who scored, because he's quite a story down here. Because back in the '98 Garnet and Gold game, he tore the right ACL when he was hit by Bradley Jennings. Thought his football career might be over. Then he came back as a fullback. And here he is with the reception for the touchdown. Also carried 7 times for 25 yards. And there he is as a lead blocker, something the coaches say he's got to work on just a little bit, but he's getting better. And now he has scored the first touchdown of this game, botched extra point. So the Seminoles lead is 6-9-3. And Dan, it's Jamie Barnett's time to do something here offensively. Spikes is a 208-pound tailback.
And I thought it was interesting in talking to Kendra yesterday about his blocking problems. He says, well, a lot of it is angles, a lot of it is desire. Well, he has a desire to get better. And I think the fact that he realizes he's the best athlete on the team and all his teammates feel that way, that he will improve as a fullback and really add a valuable weapon, especially when you think about all those barnyard players.
Oh, yeah. Actually, he'd be a bull, though. He'd be in the barnyard, right? He'd be a big old bull. Second down and 10.
I'll tell him you said that.
Barnett with that option look, and then the pitch out to Spikes, and Spikes has got the corner. Boy, the Noles have trouble when you get a running back to one of those corners. Georgia Tech exploited it. Well, it's time now for our Aflac trivia question. I think you're going to enjoy this one, folks. Take a look at that picture now. This is the man who holds the NC State record for most tackles in a season. You recognize him today looking completely different. We'll have the answer. There he is.
It's got to be back from the wild and wacky 70s, don't you think?
I think so. Spikes with a good average. He certainly helped it on that last run, didn't he? Chris Coleman moves in motion. Direct snap to Barnett. Right over the middle. Through for a couple of yards. Jackaroot.
Brent, you don't beat Florida State without leaving some lingering scars. That was the case for the Florida State Seminoles. When Mike O'Kane told the Wolfpack last year, you're not playing the garnet and gold, you're playing the ladies in pink. He actually tried to use it as motivation. Well, it got back to the Florida State Seminoles. So yesterday in practice, what did the coaching staff do? They all came out decked out in pink.
They looked lovely, didn't they, Dan? Mickey Andrews in pink. I said, what's going on here? What's wrong with this picture? Second down and 7 now. Short of the 45-yard line.
Brent, I asked Mickey whose idea was it for the coaches to come out in those pink T-shirts. He said it was North Carolina State's idea.
So they've got a 3rd and 5. State finding it somewhat tough going now, and Mickey with a 4-pack of substitutions. This 3rd and 5. A lot of depth, of course, along that defensive front. Mickey uses a lot of players. That's Hamrick, the motion receiver. In trouble. Sacked at the 35-yard line. Corey Simon causing all kinds of problems for that inexperienced center.
Check it out. 53 is Simon, and he's going to beat a double team. There's the center. That's Derek Green. Eric Santos helping out, but when you beat a double team, you've got big problems if you're the offense.
Peter Warwick back in to return the punt. Coming out for the 18-yard line. Beautiful cut. Look at this alley. There's a penalty flag down at the 34-yard line, 39-yard return, but we do have a penalty flag.
This flag was thrown after the end of the run by Warwick. This would be an interesting call. Wasn't that an interesting return? Remember, he had one called back in the first quarter because of a penalty, and this one looks like it's coming back as well.
And he is really furious. That's one mistake too many.
The downfield flag. Disregard that flag. We have holding on the return against the return team. 10 yards, and we'll run.
The return and the penalty is going to happen at the end of the return. And so this is a break for Florida State. They're going to get the ball in a lot better field position than you might think.
So we'll take a timeout. It's 9-3. Florida State leads.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? To Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Play Burger King's Win Your Way college football game. With a new game every week, you could win $1 million, a Toyota RAV4, a trip to a bowl game, or the best tasting prize of all, a delicious Whopper. Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
The sack, in Corey Simon's own words.
Get in the pass rush stance, get a little bit longer so I can get a better takeoff, and just focus in on the quarterback. I watch the snap of the ball, and when that leaves, I leave. And wherever he goes, I'll be there.
And the young man from South Florida.
Brent, you know, I've been sacked about 300 times, and it's chilling to hear the words of a defensive lineman, especially one who's so capable that he could beat a double team and be there for the quarterback.
The Noles with a first down on their own 45-yard line, lead it by 6. Defensive end jump. Penalty flag is thrown. Incomplete on the pass, but there is a penalty marker at the 45-yard line.
Pass is intended for number 21, Talman Barlow.
Offside on the defense. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Instead of 2nd and 10, it'll be 1st and 5. An overcast Saturday afternoon in Tallahassee. Rain could be hitting us later today. It is apparently coming up the coast and then knifing inland. I understand that Gainesville over in the swamp received some moisture earlier today. At least that's the report we were given over here. They've got that huge game tonight against Tennessee. I'm also told by our producer Bob Goodrich it's raining down in Miami for the Penn State game right now. Juggled out of bounds, caught. Warwick very close to the first down marker. I think he's right on it.
You won't see that very often where he juggles the ball. I'm so impressed with watching him in practice how he has such strong hands. He reaches out and just snatches the ball. That time he had to reach out twice to make the catch.
Marvin Minnis replaces Jermaine Stringer as a wide out, and the chains being brought across the field. When you go back to the upset up in Raleigh a year ago, there was a veteran center on that North Carolina State team. And now they have gone through a couple of centers this year because of an injury. And we could tell on that last replay we showed you that Coach O'Kane's middle of the offensive line could have a tough afternoon against Simon and his friends.
You notice how Corey Simon got into his pass rushing stance, more like a sprinter stance. Great explosion getting off the ball.
Ricky changes it up. Kendra. Cut back. Kendra for 10 yards and a first down. Time now for the answer to the Aflac trivia question. Who holds the North Carolina State record for most tackles in a season? How many of you guessed who that is? Bill Cowher, the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dan was right on the money. 1978, 195 stops. He also holds the single game record. I think that's about 24 tackles in one game. Blasting right straight ahead.
Dan Kendra on the carry. First down.
Did you recognize Cowher when you first saw that picture?
No, absolutely not. And I'm sure that all the Steelers who are watching this game are having a big chuckle about it right now. Nothing like quite going back and finding an old picture of the coach that is that entertaining.
Nothing personal, Bill. We just like the picture. First down at 10. Inside the 35-yard line. And here's Winky again. Got Coles. at the 26-yard line. An ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform, be different. Chili's, a proud sponsor of ABC College Football. Aflac, without it, no insurance is complete. And Nicorette gum, you can do it. Nicorette can help. With Dan Fouts and Jack Arute, I'm Brett Musburger. 6:12 to go before we check in with John Saunders and Terry Bowden in our New York studios for a halftime report. Minor in a foot race and couldn't get the job done because Levar Fisher, sophomore linebacker, was able to make the stop. So Levar showing some good speed as he tracks the running back down. Jack Arute.
Well, Brent, you look at Chris Weinke, and he certainly has a lot to prove today. But one thing that he isn't concerned about is the term patience. He's very philosophical about the rehab that he took from his near broken neck. He said, hey, if I stepped out of football for 7 years, a couple of months isn't going to hurt me.
Weinke. High diving, almost intercepted by Burnett, the freshman. Made a diving attempt on the ricochet. Ball was deflected.
You know, if they get pressure on Weinke, they're going to get some wild throws like this one. Good job at Tony Scott breaking on this ball, but you can see it was off the target. And now the true freshman lets one go right through his hands. They give Weinke time to throw. He's been on the mark, but when they blitz him, he's been a little bit wild.
Here comes the Polish howitzer. 47 yards. Whack. Oh, man. Oh, what a future he has kicking the ball. Did you see how high? That one wasn't even in doubt. He cleared that one by 10 yards. It's 12-3. The Noles lead it. Timeout.
Where will you be when the millennium turns? Your dreams change. So have we. Now Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level. The world will change, but at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we will always measure success, one investor at a time.
I wish my computer could take me everywhere. I wish I could take care of the earth. I wish animals never got sick. I wish I could fly. I wish no one was hungry.
When we want to make truth out of wishes,
I wish I could see the future.
we all go to NC State.
Promotional consideration provided by National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Bowl Championship Series on ABC.
Let's go!
Another sellout crowd here in Tallahassee. This remodeled stadium has taken on a completely new look. Used to be just a giant erector set when you came over here to watch the Seminoles, and now it's a delight to come into the new building. Classrooms in behind it. And luxury boxes up there to the left, as well as the new press box. Here's Janikowski. Beautiful kickoff, a yard deep. Robinson. And far short of the 20. And we got to find out about the Ohio State Buckeyes today in Columbus. Let's check in with John Saunders. John?
Brent, if you're standing up, sit down. This is hard to believe early, but still hard to believe. Ohio's Chad Brinker goes in from 4 yards out, and Ohio takes a lead over Ohio State, 10-3. Ohio State has just scored. Kenyon Rambo from 15 yards out. The point after is good.
That's a double update, John. We'll take it, my friend. First down and 10, so they have tied the score at Columbus. Barnett Trying to buy time. Goes down the middle. Intercepted at the 44-yard line. Picked off by Cody. And Ty Cody is tackled at the 26-yard line. And here's what Coach O'Kane feared more than anything.
Couple of interceptions now for Barnett. Both times he had a Seminole right in his face. That's what the coach is talking to him about. Number 92 is Jerry Johnson, one of the captains. He gets the push, and now this ball is like a fair catch for Tay Cody. Good hustle at the end of this by Coleman, trying to strip the ball right there. But great field position for Florida State. There's the hit by Duckett and Johnson.
First down for Winky and the Noles. Minor. George Anderson, redshirt freshman, making the stop defensively, and the young man who made the pick, number 27, Cody. He grabbed the first interception for the Noles, so that's 2 turnovers here today. Second and 8. Beautiful pass to Warwick. Great cut against Harrison and out of bounds. Nice move on Lloyd Harrison, their outstanding corner. And Peter Warwick out of bounds at the 6, and he showed us why he's so exciting right there.
He told us he likes the short routes because he likes to be able to turn and face the defender and make moves. Just a quick out, about 12 yards. And now you just don't see a better move than that on a pretty darn good cornerback in Lloyd Harrison. You know, most receivers say, oh, I like the post, I like the bomb. Warwick says, I like to turn the small play into a big play.
Roll right. Drop. Ryan Sprague dropped the touchdown pass. You know what I like about Winky after this ball is dropped? He doesn't glare at the receiver or anything. Danny just turn around, head it on back to the huddle.
Well, he knows he's going to get another chance to throw it. He may not throw it to his tight end, though. Boy, that ball hit him right in the throat. Sprague has 2 catches coming into the game. Both were for touchdowns.
Second down from the 7. Here's Minor, picks his way to the 4-yard line. Well, here is our Applebee's game fact. And the last time Florida State lost a home game to an opponent outside the state of Florida was September 9th, 1989 against Clemson. Yes, Miami has come in here. The Gators have been in here, but no school from out of the state of Florida has won in here in this decade. What a remarkable statistic. Third down, Winky's going to throw. Plenty of time. Diving attempt by Warwick. And it will be 4th down again.
You know, Peter Warwick doesn't need me to make excuses for him, but this ball was not a tight spiral. And sometimes when the ball is not a tight spiral and it's thrown this hard, it's difficult to judge it. Ball spinning just a little bit out of spiral. There's the layout, and it's just 2 inches too far.
22-yard attempt. Janikowski made both his field goals. Now 3 for 3. And that is number 50. So Sebastian Janikowski nails a milestone, and it is 15-3. Florida State leading North Carolina State.
Let's check out the post corner route by Peter Warwick. As he comes off the line of scrimmage, he's going to set up the inside move and then get by Harrison. Now Harrison's lost. Tries to grab him right there. Warwick knows that he's got it if the ball is delivered just a little bit better. He makes such sharp cuts on his routes. He's impossible to cover man on man. .339 remaining in the first half. O'Kane and the Wolfpack would like to
rally here if they can in the closing minutes, but he has to be also concerned about his senior quarterback, Jamie Barnett, not getting enough time to throw the ball. Spikes is back deep along with Corn Robinson. Wolfpack also a little bit short-handed here today because they are without running back Ray Robinson, who did not even suit up, an injured ankle. So that's the reason why we have not been watching him here today. Look at that howitzer. Coming out on the 20, and let me remind you about our programming. College football next Saturday. These Noles go up to play North Carolina. Chapel Hill, 3:30 Eastern. Some of you will see Michigan, Wisconsin, Southern Miss, Texas A&M, or Colorado, Washington. All next Saturday on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. First down. Spikes. Runs hard.
Yeah, it's amazing, Brent, as we come to the end of the first half, how quiet this crowd is here at Doak Campbell Stadium. It's almost like they're waiting for something bad to happen. The Noles are playing pretty well.
Well, they're just a touch spoiled down here, too, my friend, you know. It's an automatic W. You don't want to waste all your energy because a lot of these folks want to go home and pull for Tennessee tonight. You know what I'm saying?
I knew you'd have the answer.
Down there, too. There's Barnett. Bad pass. Had his fullback wide open. Derek Roberts and Jamie Barnett struggling a little bit with the passing game. Maybe you can get it on track here.
Well, Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, said it's hard to rattle Barnett. He's a senior. He takes a hit well. He runs his offense well. But that time, Darnell Dockett was right in his face. And when the Noles have been able to get somebody in Barnett's face, either throws an interception or an incompletion.
Third down. Fumble. Florida State pounces on it. Tommy Polley from Baltimore recovers the fumble. There was all kinds of penetration.
And most of it came from Polley, number 29. He's 6'5", and he's got long arms. He's going to knock the ball loose there with his left hand. And that's the old exacta, the fumble forced and the fumble recovered. Just too quick for Barnett.
So instead of the Wolfpack winding up with something positive here at the end of the half, Florida State with a golden opportunity to put even more points on the board. First down and 10 at the 18-yard line. Wanted to set the screen, and he overthrew the offensive line because the receiver was covered. And let's see what the umpire is going to call here. He threw a penalty flag late on that one. Ball sailed up over the offensive linemen's helmets.
Pass was intended for number 24, Jeff Kane.
May have had an offensive lineman down the field. The ball was thrown across the line of scrimmage.
Ineligible receiver.
That's exactly what it is.
Downfield, on the pass, 5 yards, previous spot. Repeat first down.
Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, you talked about the fact that maybe the Florida State Seminole fans are spoiled. It's been the topic of conversation for the last couple of weeks. Last week, some 10,000 student tickets were returned. They weren't picked up. This week, not as many, but a similar situation. The radio talk shows and the editorials in the papers all talking about the fact that maybe the Seminole fans have become spoiled.
Cheney and Minor into the backfield. Winky and was whistled dead prior to the snap.
Somebody moved along the offensive line for Florida State, so You know, they've gotten 3 turnovers in this ball game, only turned them into 6 points, and they're really squandering a golden opportunity here by mistakes.
Ball start on the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
You know, I think we could say, Dan, that it is a lead from Mark Richt's offense at Florida State, but it is it's an ugly lead, if you will.
And maybe that's why the crowd isn't reacting. They're not seeing the long plays. Winky's got 11 completions, only for 100 yards so far. We've got some excitement out of the punt return, but not what these fans are used to seeing out of the offense.
Well, it's first and 20 as a result of the penalty. Ward got him out of bounds to stop the clock at the 15-yard line. So again, coming up on the Valvoline halftime 99, John Saunders and Bobby Bowden's son Terry with scores and highlights. Hey Terry, we want you to know we asked Pop about you picking Penn State #1 a few weeks back, and he said you've always been Mama's son. That's exactly what he said. He said, now Tommy up there at Clemson, he says that's his son.
So what does that make Jeff Bowden?
Second down and 7. 1 second to go on the clock when the snap was made, and he puts it back into Warwick's hands, but that's short of a first down. That's kind of a botched play.
Well, what's happening is they're going with the no huddle. So what they're doing, Winky comes up to the line of scrimmage and calls the play from the line of scrimmage, and then North Carolina State shifts their defense. They bring linebackers up. He changes the play. Now they drop the linebackers back. So it's kind of a chess match between Winky right now and the middle linebacker and the linebackers of North Carolina State.
Haven't been all that good on third down either, have they? To the middle, incomplete. Dugans drops it, and it's Janikowski time.
Pass intended for number 8, Ron Dugan.
North Carolina State's got to feel awful good about things. You know, they've had 3 turnovers. One thing they wanted to eliminate out of their game against this great Seminole team. But these 3 turnovers look like it's just going to turn into 9 points, and they're still in it.
Yarder if he makes it 4 for 4. Boom. Perfect on the day. 18-3. The Noles lead it.
It would have been easy to have been a football player and not a student. And conversely, it would have been much easier to have been just a student and left football for some other day and time. But it wouldn't have been as joyous, as rich, as humbling to have been one without the other. So for all of us, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart, not for a single award on a single night, but for the many memorable and molding moments that we have had the privilege to call ourselves student athletes.
Florida State leads it as North Carolina State has been plagued by turnovers here. 2:18 to go.
At 6-4-4, 4-3-9-7.
Jamie Barnett needs to rally the offense if he can.
The one thing he'll have to work with is 3 timeouts, but unfortunately he's probably going to have to start 80 yards from the goal line because of Sebastian Janikowski.
That's the noisiest the crowd gets is when he puts his foot on the ball.
The most entertaining kicker in college football. Lou Groza Award winner last year, and he might just walk away with that award again this year.
Players voted to return to that look on the helmet instead of that white S we were familiar with the last few years. I think I like this one better. I think the players are right. Dan, you agree?
Well, you know, whatever you're going to do, you're going to upset some people, and the alums have voted yay and nay.
Okay. First down for Jamie and the Wolfpack. And they come running on first down.
Stop is made by number 50.
Jerry Johnson, the other defensive tackle, makes the stop. So it's Thursday night football on ESPN. We've mentioned Tommy Bowden and Clemson. He'll be playing Virginia Tech. That's Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ESPN. Second down and 8.
I felt the earth move, Brent.
Yep, the old earth was.
That might be an earthquake right there.
Bad ball. Ball start. On the offense. 5 yards. Still second down.
When you're as big as Jarvis Bourne at 6'8", 330 pounds, once you get it moving backwards, it's hard to stop sometimes.
Barnett back in the shotgun. There's 3 wide receivers. Incomplete. That's Corin Robinson.
Pass was intended for number 3. Corin.
And that ball was well thrown, although just a little bit behind Robinson. Barnett knowing, hey, listen, that's my fault. Don't worry about it, guys. We'll get it on this next play. But at that time, he had time to throw. He just a little bit off target.
Barnett sounding a little frustrated, I think, when we saw that one quick cut of him down in that huddle, and rightly so. The option and the penalty flag. So there's another flag thrown by the linesman.
It's going to be against NC State as they have 2 men moving when the ball was snapped. Watch these 2 right here. As one goes in motion, the other starts to adjust. They recognize it, try to get set, but not in time. The ball is snapped.
Scott Earwood standing on his 1-yard line. Jordan. 45-40. Penalty flag again. This is an ugly, ugly first half.
Number 99, David Warren, will get called for the block in the back as, again, a penalty nullifies a fine return, this time by Reggie Durden. Yeah, I believe that they don't need that block. These guys are so good at making that first guy
block
miss.
In the back, on the return, on the receiving team, 10 yards, spot of the foul, first down.
So here in Tallahassee, we're closing in on the end of the first half with the top-ranked team in the nation, Florida State, leading North Carolina State 18-3. The Wolfpack upset them a year ago. They came in this time also a 4-touchdown underdog, but it has not looked at all like last year's football game. North Carolina State offense has been misfiring much of the time. They've rushed 21 times for 67 yards, completed only 3 of 11 passes for 32 yards. They're being outgained 160 yards to 99 so far. And Chris Winkie drops off the screen pass beautifully. Travis Minor to the 45-yard line.
Travis Minor on the carry.
39 seconds of the timeout being used by Florida State. Well, we got a break. You know, we mentioned Tommy Bowden, and of course, he's up at Clemson. Clemson will play Florida State later this year. We asked Bobby the other day, Bobby, you talked to Tommy on the telephone. Here's what Coach had to say.
Oh, Tommy and I, we talk probably once a week now, even though we're opponents. He was here last Tuesday night, spoke at the quarterback club. My wife introduced him. I booed him. I sat there and booed him the whole time. Getting too popular. But Tommy and I talk at least once a week, but we can't talk about, I won't tell him what I'm doing. He won't tell me what we do. We'll be lying to each other if we did.
No, he's a delight to be around. Coach Bowden and his sons, I'll tell you.
Coach, do you want to be a hero?
And it's interesting when you ask the different players on the team what makes him such a great coach. They all have a different answer. Some say he's a great motivator. Others say he's just honest. And when you ask him, he talks about his ability to recruit great players.
You know where I think he's a great coach? He let us into practice this week.
Last year, he wouldn't let us in for the big game against Florida.
He thought we were too close with Coach Spurrier, I think, over there, Dan.
Yeah, I think having Terry working for us in the studios opened up a lot of doors. Thanks, Terry.
Second down and 7. He's got Warwick. Peter slides for the first down. He's so graceful when he's on the move, number 9 is.
And he got a lot of help on the outside from Jermaine Stinger. When he's out in the open field like that, everything looks like a punt return for him. Watch the block out here by Stringer as Warwick bellies back. This is that bubble screen that everybody's running, copying Purdue. Sets up his block well, gets out of bounds. First down.
Final 33 seconds. Dugans, he'd like to get out of bounds, but the Wolfpack won't let him. That was Brian Williams, their fine free safety. So the timeout being taken here by the Noles with 25 seconds. And let's check in with Jack Arute.
Hey, Brent, you're looking at Chief Osceola and Renegade, probably one of the greatest mascots in all of college football. Renegade is 17 years old, and already he has an understudy. The crew here brings this horse to the field before the game. They also bring him out and get him used to the crowd. It's a good thing that Chief Osceola is going to ride the understudy because his name is Leo. Could you imagine the Lone Ranger atop it? Hi-oh, Leo!
And away.
The Florida Department of Citrus, Public, Sprint, and Chico People's Gas.
25 seconds left as Florida State has exhausted its timeouts.
Coca-Cola, Dodge, and SunTrust Bank.
Yeah, they look spoiled to me. All of them are sitting down. Here they're enjoying a 15-point lead into the first half and hoping that Winky can get them more.
First down would stop the clock. They need 13 yards on this second down. Winky's in trouble, and the official, the umpire, didn't get out of his way. He collided with him. Winky would have had a few more yards, and now he's got to hurry. Clint Johnson there.
He's got to spike this ball.
Final 6 seconds.
This will bring up an interesting decision for Bowden. I think the crowd is hoping that they'll try a field goal from Janikowski. And if they did, from this point, it would be well over 60 yards.
And if you ask Bobby about this week, he said, I thought about it. I really did. I really thought about it. You know, there was a block. They like to block kicks, and they might have got something going. So that's why I didn't do it. Here comes Winky. And the throw toward the end zone. Deflected. And Harrison intercepted it in the end zone as the first half comes to an end. But it was turnover city as far as the Wolfpack is concerned here in the first half. They turned it over a total of 3 times. Here is Sean Key, the first interception. Then it was Ty Cody with number 2. Then it was Tommy Polley forcing the fumble and recovering it. Noles lead at halftime. Timeout.
I want my... But it's very important for Mike O'Kane to get his quarterback into some type of rhythm. So, some quicker passes, better pass protection, and get this offense rolling again. They started the game well, and then they just went flat when Florida State came with the pressure and caused the interceptions.
Well, here are Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter first half stats, Dan.
Well, you look at the passing yards here. That's terrible for North Carolina State. Then you look at the turnovers, and they turned into 9 points. Both teams struggling on third down conversions and way too many penalties for both clubs.
And one more problem for State. Florida State handles the ball to begin the second half. Bobby Moore kicks it off. Here's Coles, the fastest man on the Seminole team. To the left. And run out of bounds at the 32-yard line by Lloyd Harrison, the starting defensive back. Now our Dell Game Solutions.
Well, it's obviously they got to quit turning the ball over or they will have no chance at all. And getting Barnett in a rhythm is important. He's a senior. He's a leader on this ball club. And he's who all the other guys on that offense are looking for. It's his leadership that's going to be important to any type of comeback for the Wolfpack.
Kendra and Minor are the running backs behind Winky. This is Minor. Slips a hole. First down, Florida State. Let's check in now with John Saunders in New York. What about those Buckeyes, John?
Well, Brent, apparently the Moons are now alive once again because Ohio State doing what you'd expect. Michael Wiley, his second touchdown run of the half. 24-10 is the lead. Michael Wiley, 14 carries, 92 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Brent.
Yep, John, order being restored up there. You had it right, brother. First down here now for the Noles. There's that handoff from Winky, and here comes Minor again. Just short of midfield, tackled by Lloyd Harrison. And the Noles have come to run here early in the third quarter.
And Brent, their rhythm and the way their tempo that they've set in the second half is a lot more crisp. Taking a lot less time at the line of scrimmage.
So they move up now, second down and 3. Winky backs it off to the shotgun. Kendra comes off the block. Dan Kendra inside the 40 for a first down. And Jackaroot, Bobby Bowden has to like what he's looking at right now.
Yeah, but he wasn't very happy, Brent, during halftime. He talked to his players about penalties, perfection, and execution. He felt that they had way too many penalties. He felt that their performance was far from perfect, and he felt that the problem was they weren't executing. He specifically pointed out to them the fact that they weren't able to convert points from touchdowns. They had to settle for Janikowski. He reminded them that, hey, these guys can get back in it in the second half.
Yeah, when you get those turnovers, you'd like to get them up there as touchdowns and not field goals, don't you, Jack? Clayton White makes a stop here on first down. Both tailbacks in the game, Minor and Cheney, in this set, as the Noles continue to substitute packages and signal plays into Winky from the sideline. Drops right back in the shotgun for Bowden. He thinks he's got one-on-one on Coles. He's waiting, coming that direction, got him. And Coles does the rest to the 23-yard line. You could see Winky pointing in that direction as he picked up the one-on-one coverage. They were going to rotate over to the Warwick side, and Coles was all alone.
Well, let's take a look at what you're talking about, Brent. You see that there's only one defensive back on the right side of the field. Fine catch by Lavernius. And a first down.
Winky backs it out. Moves the pocket to the left and fires high, but Warwick snatches it out of the air for a 9-yard gain. Beautiful catch.
Pass is complete to number 9, Peter Warwick. Pushed out of bounds.
Here in Tallahassee, the #1 team in the nation, finally playing like it on a drive. They lead 18-3 in Doak Campbell Stadium before 80,000 mostly quiet Seminole fans. Somebody with a deep sneeze close to one of our microphones. But it sounded like second down. And Chaney.
And we should say bless you, I guess.
I I've heard a lot of things in my days. Damn it. You know.
Yeah, I just want
Jack
to say,
Arute, is he okay down there?
I just want to say, it wasn't me. It must have been Jack.
Yeah, it was. I forgot my microphone was open. I got a little summer cold, and now you know the end result there.
Now
guys.
I know the rest of the story, don't I, Jack? First down and 10. That'll be a meeting.
That's an Emmy moment.
Anquan Bolden, the fine freshman from Pahokee, is just off to the left. He's back in the game now. He's coming across the middle of the field. Winky wants to get him, and he let him too much. Here's a young man who was a great high school quarterback. Recruited by everybody, especially down here in Florida. The Seminoles finally snared him, and he said, Coach, I want to be like Peter Warwick. I want to play right away. I don't want to wait for a chance to play quarterback. And so Anquan, his first 2 receptions, both for touchdowns. Second down and 10. And here is number 9, leading Heisman Trophy candidate. Looking to put a little sparkle on this game right now for the Noles if he can. Toss Minor behind Kendra. Kendra the lead blocker. Kendra's got the block, and Minor's got the corner. Great block by Dan Kendra.
Travis Minor on the carry.
We talked about the angles of and timing. That's important when you're blocking. But it's also so much desire. Kendra searching out the linebacker. Fisher cuts his legs out from underneath him, and Minor comes real close to putting it in the corner of the end zone.
Bowden with both tight ends on the field right now. Notice that he's gone back to the headset in this game. He didn't have it on much in the first half. He does on this drive. This is Bobby Bowden football. First down and goal. Kendra stuffed.
Number 82, Patrick Hughes, in the game as an extra tight end, lined up almost as a wing back there, trying to lead Kendra. Same play they scored on in the first quarter.
Second down and goal. Minor behind Kendra. Tight formation. Toss Minor. Slips a block. Kendra tries to help, and Minor dives and gets the pylon. Touchdown, Florida State.
That's as good a touchdown run as you'll ever see. Watch Minor almost get tripped up by number 91, Clint Johnson, right there. Great effort by Johnson. And now Minor knows he's going to turn it on and just gets inside the cone.
Janikowski pounds in another extra point.
The kick is good to score Florida State 25.
Minor for the fine touchdown, and the Noles build their lead.
Out here, the stories unfold like a map. Stories written across the sky with the tip of an eagle's wing, or read between the lines of a sheer rock face. Stories you can hear in the thunder of a river. The kind of stories that could fill a scrapbook you'd want to page through again and again. Of course, to fill that scrapbook, you gotta get out there where the stories live. You're gonna need an outfitter for the journey, an outfitter for your dreams. Ford is your outfitter, offering you the most far-reaching sport utilities on Earth, each designed and built to take you where the stories begin and never end. Ford Outfitters, no boundaries.
Where will you be when your
children find their life's passion. Your dreams change. So have we. Now Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level. The world will change, but at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we will always measure success, one investor at a time.
Mike and Heather, Lesson 1.
Morning, Caitlin. What was that?
I slapped you.
There's no slapping on Spin City.
No slapping, got it.
Well, if Florida State is to win the national championship, it'll be largely because of those two fellows right there, Winky and Warwick, the W's for wins. Janikowski to pound another one. And here comes Spikes. Out to the 17-yard line. Rashawn Spikes doing double duty today. An ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford Outfitters. No boundaries. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. We measure success one investor at a time. 10-10-321. Now just 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes and National Car Rentals. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. I mentioned Rashawn Spikes. You realize that last year in the Micron PC Bowl, he rushed for more yards than Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James, the great Miami back. Of course, the Canes won it. He had 156. Spikes had 176 in that game. He's been alternating with Roberts back there at the fullback. Burnett trouble again, but he snaps off a beautiful pass this time into the hands of Chris Coleman, and Pauly runs him down. Nice play.
Number 84, Chris Coleman.
Barnett had Roland Seymour right in his face as he got rid of that ball. But, you know, after that first drive of the game, they came out and looked very poised, very composed. They haven't been able to do anything. Of course, those 3 turnovers at the bottom of the screen there are the killers.
Corin Robinson brings the play onto the field. He, Hambrick, and Coleman now are the wideouts. State needs points, and they need them in bunches. Seminoles show pressure. They walked into 2 gaps. Rush 5. Spikes. Swarm. Derek Gibson, the hard-hitting rover from Miami, number 6.
He's got linebacker size, too, Brent. 6'2", 210 pounds. And when you combine that with his speed, that 4.3 40 speed, you've got quite a package. Likes to play close to the line of scrimmage. Adds an extra linebacker to the front group of 7.
It is just so hard for Jamie Barnett to buy any time. They've tried to move the pocket. They've tried an option look. And you can see now 7 in the box. Now they put 8 in the box. And a timeout is called. So North Carolina State wants to talk about it. Jamie Barnett is under increasing pressure. Timeout.
We build walls with our everyday routines. Walls that make a nasty habit of separating us from our dreams. But what if there was a way to break through to your dreams? There is a way. All you need is an outfitter with the right equipment. Ford is your outfitter, offering you the most far-reaching sport utilities on Earth. Climb in and watch the walls come tumbling down. Ford Outfitters, no boundaries.
I knew I was in for the fight of my life, but I was ready.
When my husband and his friends start exchanging fish stories, it's the phone bill that can turn into a whopper.
I fought this monster for hours. First I had the upper hand, then he took control.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321. With 10-10-321, calls over 10 minutes are just 8 cents a minute, day or night. And at 8 cents a minute, he can tell all the stories he wants.
I'll tell you, it was like a whale.
Yeah?
You should have seen this.
Well, let me tell you about my trip.
Dial 10-10-321 and talk as long as you want, whenever you want.
Eagle One A to Z Wheel Cleaner removes stubborn brake dust easily. And Eagle One Wet Tire Shine applies a clear high gloss shine instantly. But why does NASCAR winner Mark Martin use premium Eagle One products exclusively?
When you're in the spotlight, you always want to look your best.
Eagle One A to Z Wheel Cleaner and Eagle One Wet Tire Shine for the perfect finish. Eagle One, are you ready for the attention?
Jamie Barnett, now a senior quarterback, holds all the passing records, of course, at North Carolina State. He runs this team on the field, nicknamed the General. Last year, of course, was the greatest moment in sports for a lot of these fellas on this team. Today, though, a different deal in Tallahassee. He's 4 of 12 for 46 yards and those 2 costly interceptions. Seemed to be in good spirits during that commercial break. He and the coach had a little bit of a laugh over there on the sideline, so keeping things light. Second down. Ooh, an option look, and a penalty flag comes down on the hit and spikes. For the first down, there is a penalty flag thrown by the linesman.
Looks like Jerry Johnson jumped into the neutral zone, so this play will stand. Fine execution of that option.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
There's Johnson just jumping into the neutral zone, and there's the big hit by Warren on the quarterback as he kisses Barnett in the ear hole of the helmet. That'll get you to pitch that ball in a hurry. Amazing it was so accurate.
Spikes the running back off to the quarterback's right. Knowles bust again where they pulled. Penalty flag comes down.
Looked like they got Jerry Johnson again, the big number 92, the senior captain. Say, oh, no, not me, it's them. He threw me off sides.
(17-3) right now. Penn State
Offside
leading Miami.
On the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Jerry's going to need to work on his debating skills just a bit. Caught red-handed 2 plays in a row.
So now it is a 1st and 5. They cross midfield for Coach O'Kane. 8:48 in the 3rd. Already 10 penalties, most of them against the Seminoles. A sloppy number 1 so far. Rush 5, Barnett fires, deflected, incomplete. And another flag comes flying.
Brian Peterson.
Also, is that Chris Woods who's limping off right there? Yes, it is. Freshman nose man.
They got a pretty good guy to bring in the game to replace Woods, and that's Corey Simon.
Before the pass was thrown, we had holding on the defense, 10 yards, previous spot, first down.
There's Simon ready to go back to work. They need his drive in the middle defensively right now.
3 penalties on 3 plays, and Florida State's doing everything they can to keep North Carolina State in this ballgame.
Awake finally. Robinson in motion. Barnett hits as he releases, but it is complete to Coleman. Coleman was wide open. The 22-yard line. The Noles were extremely soft on that side.
Now, Brett, we called him, and the coach called him the toughest player on the team. Watch the hit by number 55, Brian Allen, as he comes clean right up the middle and just drills Barnett. That is a remarkable throw. That's really how you judge your quarterback. How do you perform when you got to take the lick and you know that lick isn't coming?
Ty Cody, the corner on that side. Cleavon Thomas in on that corner. He locks up tight this time. And Spikes busts it inside the 20-yard line. Allen with the stop. And a program reminder. Next Sunday, ABC Sports back at the track with coverage of the Texaco Grand Prix of Houston. The season coming to a close. Juan Montoya still in the points lead. Kart racing on ABC next Sunday at 4 Eastern.
And Sneezy will be down there, won't he, in Houston?
I think old Jack will saddle up, probably leave us for a week. Second down and 6. They show pressure. Jailbreak. Incomplete.
That was an all-out jailbreak blitz as Florida State sent the safeties, and Barnett really did a fine job of just getting rid of it and avoiding the huge sack.
The man who called it, Mickey Andrews.
He's trying to change the momentum, trying to change the tempo. And one way you do that is you blitz the opponent.
Here's 3rd and 6. Coming again. That should be interference. Throw it. No question. He tackled him at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, we got 2 penalties on the play, Brent. Sean Key was offsides as he was coming on another safety blitz. And then, as you called it, the pass interference down around the 6-yard line.
Offside on the defense.
Both against the defense. They'll take the interference. Automatic first down.
On the defense. 15 yards. Previous ball. First down.
It's going to be half the distance to the goal. And from the right side of the screen, we're not going to be able to see it, but Key is offsides. He comes on the blitz out here. Here's the pass interference. No question.
Mario Edwards, the corner on that side, guilty of interference. So it gives State a golden opportunity to punch one in here in Tallahassee. Timeout is going to be called by Florida State, I believe. So we'll take a break.
At Burger King, we're always trying to make Have It Your Way better. Like this idea for a Win Your Way college football game. Run back a kickoff and win great prizes. Then we thought, why not just scratch and win? This week, Colorado and Washington face off, and you could win $1 million, a Toyota RAV4, or the best tasting prize of all, a delicious Whopper. Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
Out here, the stories unfold like a map. Stories written across the sky with the tip of an eagle's wing. Stories to fill a scrapbook you'd want to page through again and again. But first, you've got to go to where the stories live. You'll need an outfitter for the journey. Ford is your outfitter. With the most far-reaching sport utilities on Earth, created to take you where the stories begin and never end. Ford Outfitters. No boundaries.
Mike and Heather, lesson 2.
Good morning, Caitlin. Why? Why?
Well, you said no slapping.
This is all not Spin City.
Got it.
Now, remember in the NFL, that would have been a first down at the spot of the interference. But here in the college game, it is 15 yards and an automatic first down. Had it been inside of 15, then it's a spot foul. Thus, it is a first and goal for North Carolina State. Spikes trying to pick his way, can't get his shoulders. Touchdown, they give it to him. He did just when I was about to say he couldn't square up. He catches the pylon for a touchdown. Late call by the linesman, but he was right there for the look.
And the guy he pulled away from is none other than Corey Simon, 275-pound defensive tackle. Great block on the perimeter there, but now Spikes hasn't got a shot, does he? Pulls away from Pauly there.
2 points, good. They decide to throw, and Andy Vanderveer, the tight end, makes the grab for the 2, and North Carolina State keeps its hopes alive here in Tallahassee. It's 25-11.
Those penalties just killed.
We got Mike O'Kane here, guys, and we're going to ask him, Coach, how big was that drive?
Yes, very important, obviously. We had to get back in this thing and start feeling good about ourselves offensively, and now we just got to come out with some stops defensively like we had the first half. Thanks.
All right, here's the kicker and the center. Now, watch this play. Great deception. There's a receiver all the way out to the right side. And Florida State totally confused by the alignment. And perfect execution by the Wolfpack. Here you go. Here he is all by himself. That is Vanderveer. And the job by the holder takes the... you talk about a barnyard play. Hamrick with the nice throw and the two-point conversion. That's one you might see Bobby Bowden put in the near future. He loves that stuff.
What a great play by the Wolfpack. And suddenly, this game, which was just full of nothing but yellow flags and kind of sluggish play in the first half, has taken on a whole new personality here in the second half. And entertaining action comes to Tallahassee. Finally, 25-11 is our count.
And that defensive series for Florida State was not worthy of a #1 ranking in the country. 3 penalties on the possession for North Carolina State, and all 3 of them were killers.
It's time for Mr. Warwick to move center stage when they get possession after this kickoff. Coles and Springer are back deep to return it. Springer from the 11. So we mentioned Bobby Bowden had put the headset on for their last offensive drive, and he has taken it off this time. This is interesting because we asked him about Bobby stepping in and calling plays, and here's what he said.
As long as it's going okay, I don't even have any desire to get on it. I wish that things would develop where I don't even have to get on it. I have no desire to get on that phone. Now, when things are not going good, I have a tendency to get on there quick. And sometimes that's not good because it ruins the biggest thing it does, it ruins his train of thought.
Well, Mark Richt makes the call upstairs, and Rinke with a play fake comes right side, pulls juggle, incomplete. And down on the field is Coles. Brian Williams is the defender who hit him solidly.
Yeah, got him right in the ribs, and that was after Coles had juggled the ball. He was wide open over the middle, and he's a lot like Peter Warwick. He's thinking big play after the catch, but Peter Warwick thinks catch first. Take a look at him on the crossing route. This is the fastest man on the team, runs about a 4.240. Ooh, and he took a shot right around the chin. That should have been called by the officials. That's a very dangerous play as Williams went up top. Here's Brian Williams, and watch his elbow. So he goes right to the chin of Lavernius Coles. That will be noticed by everybody on the Florida State sideline. But if Lavernius had caught the ball cleanly, he wouldn't have exposed himself to that big hit.
Second down and 10 for the Noles. Rinke rolls to the right. High, snared. Here's Warwick. Does his thing for a first down. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Then it's time for the Win Your Way Burger King play of the day. San Diego State down 17-0. End of the first half, Jack Hawley throws it up against USC. Derek Lewis has it, falls into the end zone for the touchdown. They're now
giving them a pretty good game, aren't they, John? First down after the Warwick reception. Kendra. I'm going to tell you something. Kendra is an impressive little runner.
Wait a minute. Little runner?
Yeah, well, short runner. How's that? I'm sorry. Dan, I'm sorry.
He's 255 pounds of little runner. He's nifty, though. I think that's what you were getting at.
Yeah,
I mean, he runs like a little runner.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Got good footwork, you know, all that good stuff.
You
Sexton
bet.
down at 6. Three-man rush. Drop 8. And they put it now into Morgan's hands. First down, cross midfield.
And again, North Carolina State's not getting anybody in Winky's face, so he can stand back there and really deliver catchable balls to his receivers. This last drive, he's 2 out of 3. One of them should have been caught by Coles.
First down. Here's Minor. Slips a tackle from behind. Travis Minor, as an official, goes flying at the end of the play. And Travis dives for the first down. Now, some of you are going to see next Saturday here on ABC, these same Noles battle North Carolina. We've also got other regional action. So get one of them small dishes and you can click it around and check in on these games. Michigan, Wisconsin going to be a dandy. Southern Miss, Texas A&M, Colorado and Washington all next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time here on ABC. First down for the Noles. They've driven down inside the North Carolina State 40-yard line. The timeout is called by the Noles. That's going to leave them with 1. I believe they've already used 1 defensively. So
Time
they
on
get out
the
of the
play
last
clock.
timeout.
That play clock was running down on him again.
So we'll take a break.
On ABC Premiere Week Tuesday, the season premiere of Spin City.
I am so sorry I'm late.
Mike meets his match when Heather Locklear arrives.
This is not some cheesy soap opera.
Ooh, that hurt.
We have a score to settle.
Plus a really angry Yankee All-Star Roger Clemens. Then the return of the mid-season smash.
Finally.
It's like, you know. And on the season premiere of Dharma and Greg, Greg is gone. And he's been replaced by, this guy.
Hey, look at me. I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney.
Not for long.
See you next Tuesday, starting at 8, 7 Central on ABC Premiere Tuesday.
Top of the hour here in Tallahassee. Florida State favored by 4 touchdowns, leads North Carolina State by 2 touchdowns here at Doak Campbell Stadium. On an overcast day, we expected perhaps some rain a little bit later, but so far it has held off. Mike O'Kane has done a superb job coaching this North Carolina State team. Last year they shocked Florida State with one of the biggest upsets of the decade. And here today they're trying to dig uphill. First down and 10 for the Noles, who are down to their last timeout in this game with the ball at the Wolfpack 38-yard line. Winky chased from the pocket. The sideline incomplete. He threw behind Atris Bell.
Winky showing some elusiveness in the pocket, getting away from defensive lineman Corey Smith. One thing this no-huddle does for Florida State is it dictates what defense that North Carolina State can be in by way of personnel. They can't run on extra defensive backs to go against these 4 wide receivers.
Second and 10. Minor cuts back. He dives to the 31-yard line, short of the first down. Jamison with the stop.
Brent, Travis is just so consistent. He makes something out of nothing. He always seems to be able to break the arm tackle and get extra yards. Good average for him today.
Third down and 3. Little change up. Going to run it with Minor again. First down, Florida State, and a penalty flag comes late.
And another penalty on Florida State. This one holding. That's why Minor got to the corner. That's why Minor picked up the first down.
Disgusted Rick. Let's check in with Jackaroo. Jack.
Brent, one of the players that they were hoping would be in for the rest of this season, but is not, is William McRae, and you were replaced by Dan Kendra.
Dan's doing a good job right now, so everything's going fine for the offense.
Now, what about the performance of the offense today? You've been on the sidelines. What are players saying to each other?
I'm just trying to encourage them. We're making a lot of mistakes out there, playing too much, so we just got to put some points on the board.
Dan, wasn't there a baseball player named Wally Pipp that sat out a game and never got to come back because of another great ball player?
Some guy named Lou Gehrig, but I think Mr. McRae will get back in the lineup. He's a good one.
3rd down and 16. Weinke snaps it too high. 4th down. And Cottrell trots onto the field.
Well, check out the shoulder position right there. Again, if you get somebody in a quarterback's face, it has a marvelous way of affecting the forward pass. Usually bad for the quarterback.
Coleman comes onto the field a little late, but he'll be the return man for State. Cottrell hangs it. It takes a State bounce, and then it is down at about the 18-yard line. And there have been 2 touchdowns here in this quarter. Minor with a beautiful effort for Florida State. Then for North Carolina State, it was Spikes diving across. Both getting the pylon for the scores.
And Jamie's fired up because he knows they're only down 14. They get a score here, and we got ourselves a ball game.
I go back to that scene when we were away in commercial. He was over there with the coach, and you would think you could see 2 very disgusted, discouraged individuals, but they had a little laughter, a little joke amongst them. They came back, and Jamie led him for a touchdown. Here he is, see if he can do it again. Running for his life, and he's got him. Coleman, 1st down. North Carolina State playing real hard right now. That was a nice run after the catch, and a penalty flag.
The late hit on the Seminoles as they continue to be their own worst enemy. How many penalties now in this second half have just aided the Wolfpack?
Block in the back, on the run, 10 yards, into the run, repeat 1st down.
Well, my apologies to the Seminoles. Take a look at the block in the back. Good job by Barnett to get away from the pressure. And now he's got Coleman. And this is a huge penalty for North Carolina State. There's the block in the back there, right at the very end.
1st down and 6. Timeout called by North Carolina State. They're now down to 1.
You know, Brett, getting back to what you talked about when Barnett went over to talk to Mike O'Kane, there's an empathy there. Obviously, O'Kane was a great quarterback at Clemson, and there's nobody that knows what's going through a quarterback's mind when he's struggling like another quarterback. So they can sit there, and I remember times going over and talking to Don Coryell and having thrown 3 or 4 interceptions. Coryell saying to me, "You okay?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I think so. What do you think?" He says, "Well, all I know is I'm going to make you throw it 40 more times, so let's get it rolling."
Let's go to Jackaroo. Jack.
When Jamie Barnett came to North Carolina State, he went out and he performed, and he amazed Coach Mike O'Kane. Not the way you would think. Mike O'Kane went back and said, "What have we done? Who have we recruited?" He was so slow, according to Mike O'Kane, he felt he'll never play for North Carolina State. They tried him as a running back. They tried him in every skill position. It so upset Jamie Barnett that he went around and told people different stats. They really weren't the realistic ones. Instead of 5'11", started telling people he was 6 foot. Instead of his real 40 time of 4.8, he told people his time in the 40 was 4.6. But the one thing that happened with Mike O'Kane, he said, as soon as that disappointment was over, Jamie Barnett became a great game day player. He says he practices ugly, but when the heat is on, he performs.
Needs to perform right here, Jack. 3:10, first down and 6, down to only one timeout, down a couple of scores. Got to play Bacon, he's in trouble. Down at the 7-yard line is Bobby Rhodes. The senior backer came hard off the right side, and Jamie didn't see him coming.
They really load up this side. Barnett is going to fake and then come out, and he's got 3 Seminoles right in his face here, one from the backside. There's Rhodes with the hit there, but Rackley would have got him from the front side.
Now North Carolina State really backed up. They second down and 19. This is a troublesome play here for the offense. Backed up to their own 10-yard line now. And the Noles are ready to come snorting and storming again. They'll run against it with Spikes, and he goes nowhere. Rackley was there along with Jennings. So Theon Rackley and Bradley Jennings close it off in a hurry.
We're seeing the depth of Florida State's defense. Rackley backs up Allen, Rhodes backs up Pauly, and the linebackers have been major contributors today for the Seminoles. The quarterback's nightmare, 3rd and 18, backed up against a team that runs as well as this one.
They got to hurry. They've only got 1 second on the clock. They're not going to get it off. That's a penalty. Took too much time. Took too much time, and that'll cost them.
Delay of the game on the offense. 5 yards. Third down.
We've seen that a lot today. I'm sorry, Brent, but we've seen a lot of play clock running down where they either had to use a timeout or get called for the delay of game. Sometimes that's really not either coach's fault or either quarterback's fault. That's really an official being a little bit, as Mark Levy would say, officious, getting the play clock going too soon.
3rd down and 23. Touchdown, Florida State. Jamal Reynolds.
Mickey Andrews has been waiting for Jamal Reynolds to come through with the big play. He was dominant in the spring. The ball is knocked away by David Warren. There's Reynolds for the score, but give David Warren a real big pat on the back because he had to reach out and swipe the ball away from Jamie Barnett.
So many great defensive linemen have come out of the Florida State program and Coach Andrews and gone on to the National Football League. Janikowski pounds through the extra point. Reynolds, one of the latest. Take a look at some of these All-Americans. How about Andre Wadsworth? Now in Arizona. Peter Bulware. Now in Baltimore. Then, of course, Wilson, their all-time career sack leader with 35.5 here. Picked by the Cincinnati Bengals. 14th overall pick. And here is that last play again. Watch Warren get a hand on it.
That's just a remarkable play. Great field awareness. He was being blocked by Todd Boyle, number 55. Got around him, and he used that long right hand. This is a starting 40 times for the defensive team. Amazing. Here's Reynolds, the 3rd fastest. But how about the slowest guy? 4.8 for Jerry Johnson. Wow. No other team in the nation can match these times here. I wonder what Janikowski runs the 40, and we saw him run down a potential 2-point conversion.
You know, a soccer player, he probably moves pretty well, now that I think about it. Anybody scores 69 goals in soccer, he's doing some cutting and moving and... What a leg. Come out on the 20-yard line. John Saunders, what finally happened in that Notre Dame-Michigan State game? That seemed to be a good one.
It was, Brent, if you're a Spartan fan, not for the Irish, though. Bill Burke had a pretty good day. Here he goes, 80 yards, hooks up with Gary Scott. This is the third straight year the Spartans have beat the Irish. And more importantly, for Notre Dame, they are now 1-3 for the second time in Bob Davies' tenure. 23-13 the final. Wisconsin in a battle with Cincinnati, still down by 2. We'll keep you up to date, Brent.
Yeah, keep an eye on that one. That's that old look-ahead game, John, with Michigan next. Wisconsin looked past those fellas in Cincinnati. Here's a completed pass now for Barnett, trying to get something going, trying to get Coleman more and more into the offense, put it back in his hands. Inside of a minute left here in the third quarter. 32-11, Florida State.
And again, it was penalties that really was the big factor in the last possession for the Wolfpack. They were moving the ball out well. They got called for an illegal block in the back, a delay of game penalty, a sack, and then the sack in the end zone that resulted in a touchdown.
Option look. Here's Spikes cut off, pounds back, tough runner. Tried to get the first down. Derek Gibson comes up from that rover spot again for the Noles.
You know, that's the old reverse option. I'm not sure if I'm running the option against Florida State. I ever want to turn my back on these linebackers and defensive ends. Jamie Barnett is very courageous, but I might go over to the coach if I were him and say, Coach, can't we just run a straight option? These guys are killing me.
Final seconds ticking away in the third quarter. So we'll take a break as we come to the end of the third quarter. Florida State leading it. We'll continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Financial goals require solutions. Dreams deserve dedication. Success demands performance. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
I'm Steve Kirby. These are my mountains. I test emissions for Ford Motor Company. We're up here in the Rockies testing Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury sport utility vehicles. We're really concerned about the environment. Every SUV we sell this year is going to be low emissions. These vehicles average 35% less smog-forming emissions than the government requires. 35%. That's really amazing. The government doesn't make us do this. We're doing this for my mountains. Better ideas driven by you.
Mike and Heather, Lesson 3.
Morning, Caitlin.
Heather Locklear joins Spin City Tuesday, 8, 7 Central on ABC.
Is that Spin City?
Oh, it is now.
The next time you need to rent a vehicle of any size for any job at an easy price, hey, do what I do. Come to Easy Save Rent-A-Car in Jonesboro. Here at Easy Save, they have all types of late model compact, mid-size, and full-size cars, as well as 7, 12, and 15-passenger vans. And they just added to their fleet of multi-size trucks with easy loading ramps to make the job a snap. Easy Save Rent-A-Car has been serving Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas for over 12 years with dependable vehicles and a friendly staff. So call 935-2100 and reserve your vehicle today. It's easy.
Are you looking for exciting, affordable family fun this fall? If so, the Arkansas State Indians have a special season ticket plan for you for just $100. The family ticket plan provides you with 4 general admission tickets to each of 5 home football games. That's just $5 per person per game. Throw in fun events before and during each game, and you have 5 excellent family entertainment opportunities for the low price of $100. Call 1-888-ASU-FANS to order your tickets today and be a part of the Indian Uprising.
KAIT and Subway. Together 2000.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Here in Tallahassee, another sellout crowd. The fans of all ages come here to watch and cheer their Seminoles. Those are the two fellows who were outside Dan Fouts' room last night celebrating and getting ready.
Yeah, I helped him with the sparkles.
Here comes Barnett now on a 1st and 10. On the release, incomplete. Intended for Robinson. Another flag.
Surprise, surprise. It's been a penalty-filled afternoon on both sides.
A year ago, Jamie Barnett outplayed Chris Weinke. Today, it has been reversed.
Last year, he was 9 of 32. Obviously, Weinke doing a lot better. And don't worry about those 2 interceptions. One of them came at the end of the first half on the old Hail Mary. And I'm sure Chris would agree with me 100% on that.
You know, I don't think Babe Ruth ever hit 60.
Nope.
In something back-to-back years, did he? No.
No way.
Sammy Sosa has done it, huh? I got to check with my baseball experts over here. The Mauve Man and George Hill. First down and a bunch. Spikes again. Gets a few of them back. Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, you guys were wondering how quick is Sebastian Janikowski? Well, they timed him in the 40. He turned in a 4.58. Now, what did that cause Coach Bobby Bowden to do? Get with the linebackers coach and said, do you think we could make him into a linebacker? And then they said, nah, he's too important with his foot.
And, Jack, I bet that those coaches said 2 words, Bobby, wide right.
That's right. Twice.
Second down and 18. There's Barnett. Almost picked off. Brian Allen back there. Well, we mentioned wide right. That would be the last time they lost here on this field. November 16th, 1991. Jerry Thomas, with 29 seconds left, goes wide right. Bobby Bowden, what's going on? What's going on was a Kane victory, and that's the last time Bobby and the Noles have lost here.
Got another penalty on Florida State. That's not going to make Coach Bowden happy at all. This is part of the problem they had last week, a little bit of individual play instead of the team play. And when you play as individuals, sometimes the discipline is a problem. 16 penalties so far, and a lot of yards given up by Florida State.
They're stoned, and he is stoned. Corey Simon, number 53. At the end of the game, of course, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. And beginning this year, Chevrolet will also make a donation to each high school. Corey Simon, black eye and all. That's right, he suffered a black eye during, well, we'll let him tell you about it here in a minute. Barnett steps away, snaps it off, and Coleman takes it away for a first down for North Carolina State. So we asked Corey, we said, how'd you get the black eye? What happened? And here's what he said.
We're doing a drill called front to back, and it's a agility drill. And we rolled the wrong way, and Eric Thomas headbutted me in the eye. So it's part of the game.
What a delightful young man he is. But it's not part of the game to have your teammates button you like that with the back of the helmet there.
Yeah, I'm sure the next time they do that agility drill, the coach will insist they wear helmets.
First down. After that nice reception, I think the Noles right now are just going all out for picks if they can. Snaps it off again, complete to the 40-yard line. And there's a penalty flag thrown again. This one maybe against State. Let's see. This could be a holding, huh? Yep. With 5 minutes to go, Wisconsin needs a touchdown.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, previous spot, repeat first down.
Remember when Corey Simon said that he wants to get into a pass rushing stance? Well, if you look at the defensive line now for Florida State, it almost looks like the start of a 100-yard dash, as they are in their sprinter stances, and their quickness right now is giving Todd Boyle, among others, right tackle, some problems.
12.5 to go. First down and 20. Barnett. Nice run and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Close to that first down spot. He might have stepped out right there at it, giving the Wolfpack a first down.
Well, Jack was talking about him not having great 40 speed, but sometimes they ought to time these guys with somebody chasing them, because there's some players that just never get caught from behind. It's called football speed, and obviously Barnett has football speed.
Chains coming across.
First down, NC State.
Stone, the running back. Barnett, high, deflected, caught. Got it right there on the pick. Cleavon Thomas.
Well, Cleavon Thomas, he may want to take this tape and show Bobby Bowden, hey, I can play wide receiver. Not only does he make a marvelous catch, watch the control with his feet. Juggles it once and gets his feet in bounds. Both officials right on the spot to call the interception. Beautiful play.
And the Noles come back. Yerzy, cut back by Nick Maddox. And Nick, one of their freshmen, very talented, highly recruited young running back. His ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by the new Impala by Chevrolet. Let's go for a drive. Dell Computer, pioneering direct internet ideas for your business. Direct Dell. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period. And Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
Nate Goodson, a sophomore. Just let him know that I was going to be there if you caught that one, youngster.
Cheney trots onto the field, replaces Mater, the fullback, so they in effect will have two tailbacks lined up in that eye right now. Cheney and Maddox. Warwick, not too sure what they want him to do. Now he moves up as a split end, and timeout is called by Winkie because the clock was running down. there was confusion with the wideouts as to who was the split end and who was the flanker in that set. So the number 1.
Remember when all you needed was you? A buddy? And an open road? We do. Meet the new Chevy Impala. Designed, engineered, and built to be the most carefree car on the road.
Let's go for a drive.
I do kitchens, I do bathrooms, I do family rooms. I do not do insurance. I want to be treated like I feel I treat my clients. I want to be treated like I am their only client. Michelle Duthman treats me the same way I want to be treated. I have my cars, all of my household. I need somebody that I can get advice from. I know that when I need them the most, they're going to be there.
Get to know your State Farm agent.
It's a great relationship.
Select road. Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires take control.
Play Burger King's Win Your Way college football game. With a new game every week, you could win $1 million, a Toyota RAV4, a trip to a bowl game, or the best tasting prize of all, a delicious Whopper. Burger King, when you have it your way, it just tastes better.
Atlanta, Dallas, Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
11:28 to go. And the no faithful. Hoping they show no mercy. They came in favored by 4 touchdowns, up 3 right now, 32-11. Here's your 3rd down and 10 for Winky. Got it for the first down. It's Dugans at the 40-yard line. You know, Chris, longtime baseball player, we asked him how his baseball experience helps him as a quarterback at Florida State.
If you fail 7 out of 10 times in baseball, you're a superstar. If you go 3 for 10 as a quarterback, everybody in town's ready to kick you out of town. And so I think, you know, I've learned how to deal with the lows. I've learned how to deal with adversity.
Yeah, he certainly has done that. Last year against North Carolina State, that was the lowest of the low until he was injured and knocked out with a serious neck injury. Now he's back. And this will be 2nd down after Brian Williams makes a nice stop for the Wolfpack. Well, the number 1 team in the nation here in Florida is going to get through, apparently. We'll see what happens tonight with Florida and Tennessee, nearby in Gainesville. 2nd down and 9. Complete. And here it comes. Knocked down just as he crosses midfield. And that was Lavernius Coles. So the quick one couldn't find enough daylight, but he did get enough real estate for a first down.
Good to see him back in the game after he took that big hit. Interesting signal for Winky.
Play fake time, wide open, Dugans to the middle. Now in a foot race and cut from behind at the 25-yard line, pulled down by Marcel Huff. 23 yards.
It's all working for Winky now. The play-action pass really draws up the linebackers. Watch number 30 here. That's Sheldon Key. He's got to look at that fake first and look at how wide open in the zone Dugans is. Marcel Huff using a lot of speed here. Number 21 trying to punch the ball loose. But Dugan doing a nice job of hanging on.
So we'll take a break. Florida State 32, North Carolina State 11.
I like to think of myself as an innovator who started a company, Dell Computer, around an idea. that everybody should be doing business directly with one another, one-to-one, with no barriers. To me, that's the power of the internet. We'd like to show you how to empower your business in ways you've never imagined. I'm Michael Dell, and it's our reason for being.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
What do you call hamburgers that are grilled one at a time by a person? Absolutely delicious. Chili's Big Mouth Burgers, monuments of inefficiency.
When Americans take to the road, they generally take stuff.
We have the stroller, which has to be in the car at all times.
Transports my bike and anybody else that wants to go.
That's why Americans are switching to Chevy Malibu.
Powerful, roomy, comfortable.
Malibu offers a V6 and still costs over $3,000 less than Camry and Accord.
We're very happy we bought the Malibu.
The car you knew America could build. Malibu.
Step into a new Malibu and get 0% APR financing up to 36 months or $1,500 cash back. See your local Chevrolet dealer today.
Ponder this. What makes Chili's awesome blossom so awesome? It is chopped, battered, and the rest is top secret because only Chili's has mastered the art of the onion.
Haven't talked a whole lot about some of those fellas down the offensive line doing a good job for the Noles here today. Jason Whitaker, their outstanding senior guard. This line has matured along the way. Number 68. One of the captains this year. Sets up and ready to go. Going to try to bring some pressure up the middle. Winky steps away, and now he's down at the 30-yard line. But, you know, they overloaded him that time and got through. But we asked Whitaker how this offensive line has progressed since they were freshmen together. Here's what he said.
I feel that this is the best we had, and we came in at all of us played, and we all had our diapers on, and we got taken out behind the woodshed many a times. And I think now it's finally paying off that we actually can come out there and play with tops of the nation and not feel that we'll get dominated by the defensive line.
Has to be some pretty big diapers down here in Tallahassee for some of these fellas. I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. Second 13 snap should have been caught. Coles dropped it on the slant.
Yeah, there should be some guys going behind the woodshed. They allow a sack on the previous play, and now Coles can't bring in that pass from Winky. But great to see Jason Whitaker, the captain. He was thrilled and surprised when he was named captain of the ball club.
He was even more surprised when we said we want you on television. He's our offensive lineman face of the week.
Got to take care of the big guys up front.
Oh, yeah.
We want them to take care of you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Third down and 13. Got it. Dropped. I don't think I've ever seen Warwick drop a ball in that spot.
I think he had a lot of help dropping it. Lloyd Harrison, with his best defensive play of the day, he was right with Warwick on the post route. They've played against each other a couple of times now. Fans think it was pass interference. Fans may have a case there, but that is a bang-bang play. They got to give that one to Lloyd Harrison.
So here's, speaking of bang-bang, here's Janikowski, a 47-yarder. And it curls in. Still perfect. 5 field goals. Janikowski nears the school record.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive.
I hate grapes. Green and purple and seedless. Sure, they taste great, but on a supermarket floor, they can make for nasty slips and falls. Hi, I'm Al Mangoni, a safety specialist with Liberty Mutual Insurance. There's no reason the supermarket floor should ever be a dangerous place. So we're working on non-slip flooring and other materials to keep you safe.
At Liberty Mutual, we have hundreds of experts helping you live a safer, more secure life. It's insurance in action.
I also hate bananas.
Are you ready to make real noise? To make new friends? To take sharper pictures? Are you ready to build bridges? Learn diplomacy? Learn to swim? Are you ready to turn what you want to do into what you will do? Are you ready? Be all you can be.
Be here when ABC crowns Miss America 2000. It's the thrill of victory and the agony of high heels. Donnie Marie host the Miss America pageant ABC tonight.
So Janikowski, which is the record he still shares, but one more, and he would hold it all by his lonesome as the Polish howitzer gets ready to unload again. Well, a year ago, there was an enormous upset, but how about this one in '99? Cincinnati 17, Wisconsin 12. Got caught looking ahead to Michigan, could not recover, stumbled, and lost. And now go home to play the Wolverines. Oh, off the upright. He almost sent it right through.
That's a long, long way to kick a football.
Look at that little smile. He wasn't going to smile for a while, you know, and then he came off.
He hit it up high on the upright, too.
I had one of the Knoll fans ask me at halftime, is Janikowski going to be a first-round draft choice? They can take him in the first round. I said, you know, they normally don't take kickers in the first round. But I suppose you got to think about this fella.
Yeah, you got to give it some thought, but I bet he goes in the top 3 rounds.
Yeah, yep, sure. Barnett hit on the release again. No time as Johnson and a penalty flag coming down.
Disregard the flag. Number 42. Number 42 is in the air. Second down.
Well, ABC Premier Week Wednesday. Remember what it felt like to pop the question? Then you know how tough it is to wait for the answer. The season premiere of Two Guys and a Girl kicks off the all-new ABC Wednesday.
Brent, they were going to call Jamie Barnett for intentional grounding, and the officials working well as a team said that there was a receiver in the area.
Barnett with a nice play fake that time, and then didn't throw it quite accurately enough, and Van Devere couldn't get at it. Well, this is some day here in the state of Florida. Look at the winning percentage in this decade. Florida State leads everyone, followed by Nebraska, Florida, Tennessee, Penn State, Miami. All of them, except Nebraska, playing in Florida today. That is just, it's remarkable, isn't it? Miami and Penn State slugging it out down in Miami. Tonight, of course, it'll be Steve Spurrier and the Florida Gators going at it against Philip Fulmer, Tennessee, the defending national champions. Here today, top-ranked Florida State. Closing in on another W. Great pass that time under pressure. Got Coleman for a first down out at the 35, and the clock will stop there at about the 8:29 mark.
What a luxury the Seminoles have. They're able to get pressure on the quarterback with just their 4 down linemen. That means they can play zone, that 2 deep zone in the secondary, and allow that type of reception, but not allow the big play.
Side handoff and another penalty flag thrown by the linesman.
This will be against Florida State, an illegal substitution.
Head ball. Ball start on the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Now they should have called it on Florida State because they got an extra guy out on the field just as the ball was snapped.
Another running back shaken up. Rashawn Spikes just limped off to the sideline, and K.J. Stone in at running back. 19 penalties here this afternoon. There is Spikes, just left. Tough runner. First down and 15. Jamie sprinting for his life this time. And 4 Knowles. Close on the State quarterback.
He had 3 chasing him from behind, and Theon Rackley coming from the front. Barnett got down just in time, or he was going to be a Wolfpack sandwich. Watch how quick this play unfolds. Real-time speed. There's the 3 chasing him. Watch number 5 come up now. Woo! Man.
That's a lot of plastic, folks. Second down and 10. Dropped, and you can understand why, the way the Knowles have come to hit here in the 4th quarter. This is not a team you want to fall this far behind under any circumstance. When you turn these guys loose.
You know, you can turn loose the first team, but Mickey Andrews has a second and even third team that can bring the same type of heat.
On 3rd down. Fires complete. First down. Ryan Hamrick.
Pass was complete to number 22, Ryan Hamrick. Stopped by number 27, Clay Cody. First down, NC State.
First and 10. Well, the pros take over Sunday night on ESPN. It's the Jets in Buffalo. Life after Vinny Testaverde as far as the New York Jets are concerned. That's the Sunday nighter. Monday night, Atlanta-Dallas. Can Atlanta repeat as the NFC champions? They get their work cut out, especially with Chris Chandler questionable. Second down and 15. Barnett pitches it to Stone on the option. Stone tried to get the corner and could not. So Chris Hope, sophomore free safety out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, the first to hit the running back.
The real benefit for Bobby Bowden is he's getting to see a lot of youngsters and how they play when it counts. So far, you really can't tell the difference when they substitute. They all seem to run well, and they all seem to really hit when they get to the ball carrier.
Third and 13. Penalty flag stopped it.
Big ball. False start. Offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
You know, Brent, we got to pick the Chevy players of the game. I think our officials are real strong candidates today. They've had a great day. They are throwing flags, blowing whistles, stopping plays. They're all over it.
3rd down and 18. Takes another hit and throws an interception on the release. Touchdown, Florida State. Abdul Howard, the sophomore rover, picks Jamie Barnett and dashes in for 6 more on the 47-yard interception. The relentless pressure.
Quite an afternoon for Florida State's defense. The 3 sacks many, many times. Barnett has been knocked down. 4 interceptions now. 2 touchdowns by the defense. And that is the type of team, those are the type of stats that you've got to put together to make your case as the #1 team in the country.
To 11. From behind Barnett, watch the rushman close. Sandwiched. And the pick by Howard, who picks up a good block along the way. Redemption. Timeout.
At Burger King, we're always trying to make have it your way better. Like this idea for a win your way college football game. Run back a kickoff and win great prizes. Then we thought, why not just scratch and win? This week, Colorado and Washington face off, and you could win $1 million, a Toyota RAV4, or the best tasting prize of all, a delicious Whopper. Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
Don't get me started on stockbrokers. I had one for the better part of 10 years. Let me tell you something. The only one who was broker was me. With Ameritrade, it's so simple. I sit down at my computer, a couple of clicks, and I can see for myself. $8 a trade. My stockbroker says you're going to hate online trading. You can add that to the long list of things he was wrong about.
Call toll-free 888-763-0088 or visit Ameritrade.com. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
When Americans take to the road, they generally take stuff.
So we have the stroller, which has to be in the car at all times.
Transports my bike and anybody else that wants to go.
That's why Americans are switching to Chevy Malibu.
Powerful, roomy, comfortable.
Malibu offers a V6 and still costs over $3,000 less than Camry and Accord.
I'm very happy we bought the Malibu.
The car you knew America could build. Malibu.
Step into a new Malibu and get 0% APR financing up to 36 months or $1,500 cash back. See your local Chevrolet dealer today.
Sebastian Janikowski. He's been part of what is becoming a Florida State rout. 42-11 over North Carolina State. 335 total yards of offense for the Noles, 225 for North Carolina State. But 4 interceptions and 2 fumbles. Those 6 turnovers by the Wolfpack. Another upright. So let's go down to Jack Arute, who spoke with Coach Bobby Bowden just moments ago.
You like the score, huh, Coach?
Yeah, I like this score better.
What about the performance of the team? It's not up to your standards.
You know, I think it's been good, except penalties. Penalties has killed us, which we've killed ourselves. But other than that, I'm not that much disappointed.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point, because penalties, that's been the biggest negative with the Noles here.
And all those turnovers in the second half, they've turned them into touchdowns and not field goals.
Stone, still the running back. Spikes was shaken up again. Ray Robinson did not play because of an injury. And the new quarterback is Jatavis Sanders out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. A young man who's a true freshman, and boy, you're excited and just a little uneasy all at the same time here, okay?
Thanks, Coach. You let me play.
All right.
Down by 31.
4 minutes to go. Sanders with a 2nd and 8. And the tackle made by Pauly. So if time permits, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report.
Stop made by number 20.
Brent, my first action as an NFL quarterback came in Pittsburgh against the great Steeler team back in 1973. We were down 38-0 at halftime. And the coach came to me and says, "You're in, son." I said, "What did I ever do to deserve that? I have to go in there against Mean Joe Green and Jack Lambert and all those great players." I know how Mr. Sanders feels right now.
3rd down and 2 for Jatavis. Too much time.
Yep, another penalty.
Delay of the game on the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Just not eager to have it snapped.
You know, it's just mind-boggling that because there are clocks at both end zones, and the quarterbacks and the coaches can see the clock. It starts at 25, and today it seems like it runs all the way down to 0.
They're down and 7 for freshman Jatavis Sanders. Short of the 1st down. Cleavon Thomas, who made that spectacular interception in this game, makes the stop. So our Chevrolet players of this game, we're going to go with running back Rashawn Spikes of North Carolina State, and over from Florida State, we'll have Sebastian Janikowski. We thought a lot about Chris Winkie, but we'll go with Sebastian. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to the General Scholarship Fund of the schools and then to the high schools. Maloney High in Meridian, Connecticut for Spikes, and Seabreeze High in Daytona Beach for Janikowski.
Anybody that can hit each upright on a kickoff back-to-back deserves to get recognized.
You know, one of the best things we had in our coverage today?
What's
the
that?
Audio, that natural sound on that far side. All those fellows hitting, we got from down below. We even got Jackaroot sneezing today. We got the whole thing. And Wendell Stevens, whose family's back up there in North Carolina. I know they're still with us no matter what the score is. So Wendell, along with our cameraman, I want to tell you, our cameraman had to battle their way to get down here, some of them, because of that hurricane.
Achoo!
And the truck crew showed up early, and they did a great job for our director, Drew Esikoff. And they're going about 4 deep now in running backs here. Davey Ford. And there's Chris Winkie with Marcus Eitzen quarterbacking the Noles as we wrap this one up.
Lavernius Coles catching a catnap on the sideline. Remember, he took that big hit. That might be an ice bag on his right shoulder there. He got hit up around the chin. And the Roosters in.
2nd down and 7. Final minute and a half. 1st down, and here comes Davey. He can explode. 25. Run down at the 18-yard line. He's back. 38 yards. Blew a knee out in a Sugar Bowl. Nice to see that.
We talked about the depth on offense. How about the depth from running back? Huge hole. Huge hole. But now he's still got the moves. And the speed shifts the ball to his outside hand. That's a smart move because he knows he's got company coming.
He's going to be a dandy to the 11-yard line. Thanks now to our whole crew. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. The executive producer of college football, John Filippelli. The coordinating producer of ABC's college football and producer of the game today, Bob Goodrich. Nice going, Bob. Directed by Drew Esikoff. And our TD, Doug Schmidt. The associate producer, Mitch Green. Associate director, Brian Gordon. Production manager, Lynn Cadden. Come back now with Maddox. Forced out of bounds at the 8. Our technical operations manager, Jim Licata, he led the effort to get this truck ready here yesterday. Our assistants, the Z-Man and the Rook, up to their normal high standards. And our stats guy, George Hill, head off to Monday Night Football. The spotter, Brian Movelson. Computer stats, Craig Rothberg. College Football Today, produced by Charles Complin. Directed by Calvin Haywood. And thanks to one and all. 42-11. We wrap up the final seconds here.
And a personal foul penalty at the end of that run against North Carolina State. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Seminoles just take the knee here. Let the clock run out. Go home and celebrate as they continue to be number one.
Davey Ford down.
Bobby's idea of taking a knee is to run one of the barnyard plays, huh? A little reverse there as the clock runs out.
So Coach O'Kane goes across to shake hands with Bobby. Florida State wins it 42-11. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports. So long, everybody.
You have to take a really big crane and get it to move. Use a tow truck.